up, chat? Happy hump day. It is Wednesday, March 9th, 2022. We've got a big-time Jimmy Jones slate. Jimmy, I don't know. It's huge. 12 games. 12 games. We used to hate 12 gamers, but now, with the emergence of PrizePicks and prop betting being more available, they become fun because we can really carve out. I mean, what's it take, Josh? 5 to 8 good picks to make a massive night, and we have 24 teams full of options. So I'm excited. I gave us an extra hour to break this stuff down. No rushing, right? We don't have to say F off to the West Coast games because I'm pinched for time. So we should be able to go game by game, uncover every rock that we can. A ton of news to keep track of. Obviously, we're getting some nuggets already, but it should be a lot of fun. Josh, last night, Kevin Durant basically was the only blemish from like a perfect game, man. It was It was a good night for props, but yeah, KD not only a tough night for KD and in the core props, but tough night for the tacos, man. Both tacos go under.
Yeah, I mean, did KD sell on purpose, or was it just due to Kyrie having a going off?
I think Kyrie just couldn't miss, man. 50.
I mean, that tweet though. Can we talk about that tweet?
So I mean, he quote tweeted somebody else, and I guess that's somebody else. It seemed more of a friendly banter thing than anything. But yes, I'm sure that was a microcosm of plenty of tweets and hate. Because I mean, me and you, we're not really, we keep our rage in our Discord and blah blah. We have fun with it.
Yeah.
But there really is a boundary. And you got to know your boundaries. And there's a lot of gambling addicts on Twitter or on Instagram or whatever that do not know their boundaries. And they'll just, tag these athletes and blah, blah, blah. Kids, these kids didn't grow up on the streets playing, pick up balls. You're like, I want people to get mad or happy when they bet on me. That's not part of the plan. So when you guys fill their feed, not you guys, but when people fill their feed with that type of stuff, I get it. I fully get it. Like Russell Westbrook kind of opened up the other night about that type of crap, man. That's the bad part of society. I just kind of shrug it off. It happens. Kyrie dropping 50. What are you going to do? But yes, KD tweeting out that almost enjoying the fact that he cost people money was a little salty and timely, but I don't think that's why he did that. Look at the chat though. Shout out to the live chat. A little bit earlier today, Chris Smith, Robert Jermaine, Danielle, Mia Moore, Dang Lazy Mofo, Josh, I didn't know you weren't modded already. I figured co-host should be modded. What up, Chris? Carson Wentz traded to the Washington Commanders. Is that confirmed? That just come out? NFL. Scroll all the way down in the Discord. Yeah, it is. Look at that. Carson Wentz to the Commanders. The Colts get this year's third rounder and next year's third rounder that can convert to a second based on last year's incentive. So cool. Carson Wentz to the Commanders. Watch out there now. E made it happen. What's up, E made it happen? What up, Steve? Oh man, Fish fan in the chat here. What up, Jermaine? Neville says I got slaughtered last night. Dang it, man. I had like a 375, 377. I think I posted it in one of the Discords. I did really good on Fanduel, but I took the bold. There was a couple of weird moves. I took the bold stance of like KD over Giannis. That was not the move. We had that thought that maybe the Bucks would sit somebody. They didn't. But check out this line. I had 378 on FanDuel with 23 from Kevin Durant. So like if Durant, like honestly, if you'd have told me I'd take a floor game from KD against the Hornets, I would have just assumed 40, right? 20 is like half of a floor game in my head. Would not have expected a number that low. So I was close to the 400 club last night with a down game from KD. But a couple big scores out of. Oh, I thought I was screen sharing. I'm a bot. I'm literally. Let me screen share. I'm a bot. I had Garland, Lonzo Ball, Cameron Payne, Devontae Graham, Kevin Durant, Jordan Nwora, Bobby Portis, Evan Mobley, and Andre Drummond in my single entries across Fanduel, and I didn't have or I had KD. And another thing that we saw last night was that a couple of these studs in blowouts were great plays, right? CJ McCollum on the stream, I said I didn't think that game would stay competitive, and it didn't. It was 132 to 111, but CJ McCollum still dropped 58. And SGA, I feel like every time we look up, he's leading the slate in fantasy points, 33, 8, and 14 against the Bucks. They got smacked by dang near 30. So the brain is trained these days in DFS, and really, rightfully so, to kind of stay away from games you think might blow out. But here we go. We got two guys on the wrong side of 20, 30-point blowouts as the top 5 fantasy scorers on the slate. So something to keep in mind here. And SCA certainly one of those uncomfortable clicks at 10K that you might just have to start clicking as long as Giddey and Lou Dort and the like are going to be out. So otherwise, last night, Darius Garland, 13 assists, 41 real points. Kyrie Irving, we mentioned it. He had 50 real points. Terry Rozier, big game out of him, 30 real points. Evan Mobley without Jared Allen. Josh, we've been all over this. The Pacers are kind of a team that is just going to be a Honeywell to pick on. Ever since this trade, it just seems like every game there's just like a massive amount of fantasy points being accrued against them. So we'll keep picking on them. John Morant, 52. Campaign, the easiest play on the slate, and perhaps in history, 50 fantasy points. He was mispriced all throughout the betting side of things, and of course, an anchor in everything I did last night. Literally 100% exposure to him in DFS, and then we had him in everything on PrizePicks. That was nice. Halliburton, another strong game. Drummond without Aldridge didn't really get a bunch of extra minutes, just 24 of them. But he did Drummond things, 20 and 14. Big game out of him. Bobby Portis, we love centers against the Thunder. DeAndre Ayton without Devin Booker, without Chris Paul. Any surprises last night other than the KD down game? I would say I distinctly remember telling someone that I didn't trust Jonathan Kuminga last night. When I looked up, he had 20 real points. I was like, oh, okay, I got that one coming. But
I mean, that was kind of just abnormal. Just lucky his threes were going in. Same with Poole. Poole wasn't missing from 3 either. Any other surprises? No, I mean your projections again. We brought it up. You brought it up on stream yesterday about when they seem outrageous for some of these guys. They're spot on, right? So the campaign. What do you finish with?
On 50, I believe, on DraftKings.
Yeah. Fanduel, you had him projected for 48, I think. So yeah, I mean, no, everything was pretty much on point except KD. And then Jay Crowder, he shot 1 of 10 from 3. Yeah. So a lot of us in the crew had his point props, and so that stung. I think he finished with 7 points, and it was 12.5 points. If he just hit two of those threes out of the 10 he took. It was just he just had a really off shooting night, and then Shamit went off, or got hot, so that kind of killed his potential. But other than that, no, I mean everything was as predicted, and Garland had his homecoming game. He went off.
Gary, yeah. Chat, are you saying my mic is low? Is that what you guys are saying? I guess I'm not hitting yellow and red, but nothing's different. Let me make sure I got the right input. I don't see why it would have changed. Projector, microphone, USB. Try mic 4. No, I don't think that's it. USB. I think this is the one. I don't know.
I do have you turned up all the way on my computer to hear you.
And it sounds, and that's different. You didn't usually have to do that.
Right, right.
Hmm. Man, I don't know if there's a way to turn. I don't know how to turn. Hmm. I'm low. Hmm. Maybe I have a filter that I don't know about. Let's see. Edit filters. I don't have a filter on. That's intriguing. I'm not sure why that would be happening. Properties filter. Use device. Sync cost down with monitor audio. Blah blah blah. I guess when all else fails, I can unplug it and plug it back in. I'm sure this will create some chaos in the short term, but let's see. Um, that doesn't look like it might be a little bit better. Maybe I just talk louder. I don't know. Josh, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but like I said, I have it turned up all the way. I don't know what it's like for the viewers.
Yeah, no, I see when I talk, I'm not hitting yellow and red, but I really don't think there's. I don't think I have mic sense on mute. I don't know, chat. Mic mic sensitivity. Maybe I hit something. Uh, Mic settings. That's my bad, chat. I don't know. Let's get. I'm gonna try and knock out some chats while I look at this microphone setup. Booker's back today. Yeah, I saw Devin Booker's back today. Cameron Johnson's still out, so you probably get Booker and Cameron Payne start alongside each other. Steve says Steph Curry was awful. I've been crap. Yeah. A lot of tacos not going the right way lately, huh? On Prize Picks, man. That's unfortunate. I've been saying that maybe they should consider, like, if you take the under on a taco, maybe they should increase the payout. You know what I mean? Like a plus 200 to go with the under or something like that, just to kind of make it to where it stings a lot less, or at least it's just less of a look. It's supposed to be free squares for them to offer the community. A little low, but I can hear you, man. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I get. You know what I can do? I always keep a spare. I'm sure that there's some setting on my end that's got this all jacked up. But one second. All right, that does not look any different. I must have I don't know what I did. I sound the exact same to you, right, Josh?
A little louder.
A little louder. All right, that's good.
Actually, no. I mean,
Not really.
it's
Yeah, I don't. I must have. There, is there like a hotkey for mic settings? Because
like
I didn't change
no.
anything. Microphone setup.
You didn't change
Yes.
like the gain or anything, did you?
No. That's so weird. That's so weird. Um. Yeah. I mean that's gonna be a quality control issue here. And I can't.
Turn off. You have like noise reduction turned off and echo cancellation turned off.
No, I don't have none of that crap on. Add filters. Add filter. Nothing.
I was talking about on like the Discord settings.
No, so like they're getting straight up raw input from streamers.
Oh, gotcha.
So yeah, it shouldn't be. Your mic sounds fine. It's your ASMR voice. That's not cool, man. What the heck? Let me see something. I'm just gonna switch to this other option chat. USB 4. And I think that's just that's not it. Bro, it's always something. It's always something. Global settings. No, yeah, that's my promise your microphone is fine gun. Man, I don't know, chat. Y'all are I don't know. All right. It's people vote on dumb tacos to begin with. I mean, I don't know. Kevin Durant and Steph Curry going under at any night is suspect, you know. It's barely low. Why is everyone's first game back against the Heat? Booker going to play tonight. Y'all go under on Booker props. The Heat going to shut him down. Heat looking pretty dangerous too. That game could be a preview of the finals, right? Just a Chris Paul away from two really, really strong teams. Been crapped on the last 2 weeks. Marathon has begun. All right. If it sounds like you're zapping bugs, that was I know what you're talking about, Sam. That was no. I honestly. So sometimes I'm accidentally on that version, and I don't even know what that mic is. Like this computer has 4 mic inputs, and I know one of them. I'm like, what the heck else is picking up noise? Like my monitor has a mic for no reason. It's dumb. If Josh was 100%, Guns at 60%. So I guess what I could do is turn Josh down, and then up. No, well, I guess in contrast to me.
Okay.
Okay. Well, now I can't hear you, so let me turn you up, and I'll turn it down on the on this side. So they said if you were 100, I'm at 60. So if I make us a little closer, maybe they turn it up, and it's just all better. Yikes. No interference now. PrizePicks is giving promo money out. Well, shout out to PrizePicks. All right, chat. If we are all good, if you guys are good and you're ready, I'm ready to jump into this slate, and I will pull up the news to watch via Underdog. Actually, we don't have news to watch, but we have some news that we can get caught up on. Just yell at us, bro. Kick dirt in our eyes. Call us noobs. As long as me and Josh are a little closer, then you guys can turn it up and we'll figure it out. They just said the East Coast should brace for palm-sized spiders parachuting from the sky. That's gonna be a no for me, dog. We are now we're an Instacart family now. DoorDash. Okay. Let's get caught up on anything that was posted today via Underdog, and that'll start us off. And then chat, as news comes out later today, you let me know if something drops. So the first stuff that dropped this morning: Jimmy Butler illness now listed questionable 2 hours ago. Jalen Brunson probable. Christian Wood illness not at shoot around. Status alert: Jayshawn Tate, Dennis Schroeder, Garrison Matthews questionable. Kevin Herter went through shoot around. Danny Green likely to miss a week. Fred VanVleet said he's going to play today. Lonnie Walker illness went through shoot around Wednesday. Status alert: still nothing official on Devin Booker. Well, we know now he's going to play. Devin Vassell illness available. Lonnie Walker available. Keita Bates Diop ruled out. Mitchell Robinson illness did not go through shoot around to be a game time decision. Jalen McDaniels questionable with an ankle. James Bouknight ruled out with a neck. Dennis Schroeder GTD. Devin Booker will play. Domantas Sabonis suspended 1 game. Brandon Ingram has been ruled out. CJ McCollum looking like a snack. Cam Johnson ruled out as Devin Booker comes back. Anthony Edwards, D'Angelo Russell, game time decisions. And Garrison Matthews says he's going to play. Don't you love when players report their status? That's the best. Grayson Allen not on the injury report. Lindell Wigginton listed as doubtful. Jayshawn Tate did not go through shoot around, remains questionable, and Porzingis is expected to play on Friday and rest Saturday. So that is the I's and T's dotted and crossed. Now let's open up the RunDFS.com NBA VIP spreadsheet and dive in. The Chicago Bulls up against the Detroit Pistons. Is the first game on the docket that we chop up. We got this Ayo Dosunmu, Zach LaVine, Javonte Green, DeMar DeRozan, Nikola Vucevic taking on Corey Joseph, Cade Cunningham, Sadiq Bey, Jeremy Grant, and Bag Alert. Marvin Bag Alert. 227.5 is our total. 5.5 point spread here in favor of the visiting Chicago Bulls. Rather full strength teams outside of Isaiah Stewart listed as out. It's going to miss, I think I saw a week as the early projection. That's going to offer up Marvin Bagley and potentially 28 to 30 plus minutes of him. And with his new team, he has shown incredible production, and this is the type of production that I loved and liked to see when given the opportunity for the Sacramento Kings. The pushback being the Pistons arguably have 3-4 guys that can stagger usage. You can still see the Cade Cunningham games, the Sadiq Bey, the Jeremy Grants, sometimes the Ham Diallos. But now Marvin Bagley's in here, and if we let DVP tell the story, Marvin Bagley has the best matchup for fantasy, and if he's going to be the starting center, I guess there is a potential for like Kelly Olynyk or something wild, but if he's going to be the starting center, he definitely has a strong case for 30-plus fantasy points on both Fanduel and DraftKings, and this entire Pistons team priced pretty appropriately. Cade Cunningham's going to be a little hard to stretch out to because he's so close to CJ McCollum, I guess, on DraftKings at least. But all these guys in play, it's a big slate, so you're never going to have to get to a big number of exposure equity if you're mass multi-entering. But Marvin Bagley stands out as the most intriguing option here. Josh, did anything from this game stand out to you? And was there any prize picks lines that you felt like were a little inefficient so far?
Yeah, I mean, Bagley, it's a great spot for him. And can he keep up this heater, the little heater is on, stay consistent? I mean, offensively, his offensive game is always there. It's just he needs the opportunity, and I mean, it's going to be there against the Bulls, right? I mean, we've been attacking their paint defense all season long. So but I do feel like PrizePicks has them priced appropriately. They have him at 27 fantasy points. I believe your projections are at 30, so 31. It's a small margin. But maybe Grant. I mean, you get on him. You have him projected for 41 fantasy points, and they have him at 30. So it's a pretty large gap. So maybe Grant's the way to go for fantasy wise. If we want to attack the Bulls in the paint. And then I don't know. What do you think? Like, all these other guys are risky because of Grant now and Bagley together gonna dominate usage, and then Kellyo, like, is Bay and Cade. I mean, Cade assist rate should go up, right? With Bagley in, I noticed he had a spike assist game against the Hawks, and he's still at 5.5.
Yeah, I think the volatility in between these guys in terms of who could take over and who doesn't. By the way, I'm digging through like my device properties and all this crap, and there's like,
Sure.
everything's at 100%. Like I honestly am perplexed, and I don't quite know what it is I'm doing or what, you know what I mean. I don't know. But yes,
You can keep checking. I was gonna mention some other thing. So Sadiq Bey went out of the game. He did not go through his normal rotation and against Atlanta. And I don't know if that's. I thought it was due to Livers kind of getting hot from three. He made like 3 threes in a row, and so Livers ended up playing the entire fourth quarter, and Sadiq only played 5 minutes of the fourth. So I don't know what's going on there. Kind of makes me nervous. But Sadiq has been really, one thing he's been really consistent in the first half, early on, getting hot. So I'm pretty sure he's been clearing his first half point prop. But that's always risky with a streaky shooter, and just getting one half of that. You're cutting it in half, your probability. So yeah, I would probably say out of all of them, I would probably probably lean on Grant's fantasy points.
All right, so let's go pull up the Pistons here on Prize Picks. All right, it looks like it might be a little. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I just got to go back to pulling out the old Yeti. Jeremy Grant fantasy points at 30. We have a Bagley line at 27. My first round projections had Bagley at 31. Like I said, sharing the court with the Cunningham, Bates, and Grants here. Don't really have a strong lean game to game of what I expect to lead in fantasy points, but because DVP being what it is, and the Bulls' inequities in terms of fantasy points allowed to centers, I'm willing to feel enthusiastic about Marvin Bagley's ability to have a strong game here, and then maybe Kelly Olynyk has a couple extra minutes to squeeze out off of the bench here. But 12 game slate, I don't want to get too invested in Pistons.
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, but there's 11 fantasy point differential for for Jeremy Grant from your projection, so it could be mid tier fringe.
Yeah, the Bulls do allow a lot of points to power forwards as well. On the Bulls side here, any love for Levine, DeRozan, Vucevic? I guess Vucevic, is worth noting, did carry a Q tag into this game. He is dealing with a right hamstring. He did not play Monday against the 76ers. TT got smacked around by Joel Embiid. If he's going to be out again, you might expect another game where Tristan Thompson gets a bulk of the minutes there. I think that's a lateral really defensively, if anything. It's certainly somebody who is less involved in the offense than Vucevic, so it would probably spike Levine and DeRozan in terms of implied scoring and implied usage. So I guess something to keep an eye on. From this far out, I don't have a strong podium ranking for Levine, DeRozan, Vucevic in terms of points per dollar. I keep getting not suckered in, but Levine at 8K and sub 8K on Fanduel certainly feels nice for someone who, if he hits a season average of 25 real points and go from there, it gives me a solid shot at 40 plus fantasy points. So I do think we're going to keep talking about standards price wise at each position. CJ McCollum is just going to be screaming at that 8K. If you guys missed it, Brandon Ingram rolled out, so McCollum should be like the highest owned AK guy in the slate tonight. So there's a lot of, that's who I'm going to be comparing players to in that price range. What the freak, man? I keep looking over and I'm not seeing me hit like yellow and red, and it's just like driving me nuts, and I have no idea what could have caused it. But yes. Do you have any interest in the Bulls here? And I guess if Vucevic was out, we ran this last time. Levine and DeRozan both get to a dueling 30% usage rate. Do you feel like we get some discounts on their lines right now?
No, I think they're pretty spot on right now. I mean, I really wanted to go. If anything, if I was going to pick anything on the Bulls side, it would be Levine, but it's 24.5. I mean, he's been getting like right around there recently. And I mean, it's his birthday tomorrow. So maybe he's like got that on his mind. I don't know.
Hey, Narrative Friday. You're a little early.
On this side slate, I'm going to stay away. It's too roll of the dice and dart throw for me.
Bro, my mic is literally like it's driving me nuts, and I've done all the base. I literally switched, like there was nothing that I did. Looking at output rates, everything's normal. Any button on a headset, it must be really bad. That's annoying. What could I do? Nah, the only button on my headset, Jason, is a mute button, and then I've got a turn volume up, turn volume down thing. I went to my system settings, everything's at 100%, and I don't know. Maybe there's a keyboard button I would have hit. I don't know, man. It's kind of annoying. Levine rebounds have gone up recently. let's move on to the next game here. We got the Celtics at the Hornets. Project starting five for the Celtics: Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Al Horford, Robert Williams taking on LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier, Miles Bridges, P.J. Washington, and Mason Plumlee. We got 225.5 total, 7.5 point spread in favor of the Boston Celtics. Hornets last night, they didn't look very competitive against the Nets. The Nets, of course, saw Kyrie Irving shoot an incredible tick. Celtics have been one of the strongest defenses this side of the calendar year, and Jason Tatum, of course, emerging as the superstar form that everyone knew he could become. 7.5 point spread leaves the door open for a couple scenarios. Josh, what's the scenario you're bracing for? It is a back-to-back for the Hornets, but both games in Charlotte. What are you doing with this one?
Yeah, so like you said, I mean, so the Celtics right now have the second best overall defense across the entire season, and a big reason why is this. I've been watching their games and looking at it and listening to some of the post-game stuff. Like, they're Udoka, the coach, is using this three-way switch defense. And what this does is it allows them to just basically switch any defender on pick and rolls on screens. And so they don't have to like hide like a small guard like they did with Kemba, or like a lot of teams have to do when they have to hide or protect their guard. They'll have to switch and just do a two-way switch. But this three-way switch is just because they're so versatile on defense, right? And on top of that, now they're adding Derek White on and then he's a great defender. I mean, so against the Nets, that recent game, Derek White matched up with Kyrie on 6 possessions and gave up 0 points to him. Then he matched up on over 10 possessions against Patty Mills, 0 points. But that's Patty Mills. I mean, that's not surprising. But still, I mean, you're throwing in now Derek White on top of this already great defense, perimeter defense. And on top of that, Tatum is now has the highest defensive rating, best defensive rating by a wing this season at 104.8. So not only is he playing at a superstar level on offense, he is the best wing defender. So this defense is scary. And this three-way switch, what it also does, it allows Rob Williams. So they're switching around, everything's centered around Robert Williams. They're switching around him, and what it does is let him roam around the paint, and he just basically acts like a safety around the paint. He can ignore the guy in the wing and just come in and crash and move in wherever he wants. And this is increasing his blocks, making him more efficient on defense. This is an awesome spot for Robert Williams, right? I mean, we saw what Drummond did against Charlotte and what centers have done all year long against Charlotte. So I really like Robert Williams. Even if the game, which I think probably doesn't stay close, I mean, it's the Hornets on a back-to-back, but you never know. But things aren't lining up good for him, right? But Robert Williams, fantasy points just to get those blocks and steals in there. And then the other prop I really like is Tatum assist prop. I know I've been on that before in the past, but I noticed that Charlotte, they really double teamed KD last night, and that just forced KD to move the ball constantly. And he was just like, okay, you're gonna double team me on the post. I'm just gonna dish it. And Tatum has been really good recently at making a quick decision and getting the ball out of his hands when he's doubled, because the defenses have been crashing on him because how efficient he's been and doubling him in the post. So he's been throwing it to corner threes to Smart, Horford, Grant Williams. So this feels like another scenario where Tatum just dishes it out like KD last night. So I like his 4.5 assists, and I like Robert Williams' fantasy points.
There we go. Now, I'm not internationally known, but I'm known. Dang it. Microphone's still not working. Bro, I don't know. But that was really good. Did you study?
I did some studying last night, but this is something I've been following with the Celtics. You know, traditionally I haven't liked watching Celtics games, but this new scheme they're running and just the team as a unit, they're a great basketball team. They're fun to watch. Yeah. One thing I forgot. Last night we kind of like talked about how we miss, Kyrie Duke narrative coming back. North Carolina.
Yeah, how dare you? All these other narratives, you missed that one.
Right. So does Tatum get up for this Duke narrative, or coming back to North Carolina playing in front of MJ? He played at Duke as well. I don't know.
Sure. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
God dang it, brah. Why is my mic? No, I think Tatum's been on such a superstar tear that it certainly it bodes well for him. I'll tell you another one. For DVP truthers, right? How do you feel about DVP, Josh?
It depends on the situation. Yeah.
Charlotte has been. Let's see, Charlotte. I guess Charlotte's not been that great against them, but that's been their best position in terms of not allowing fantasy points amongst. With Kyrie having his spike game, it is whatever. But I don't. I'm not a big DVP guy unless it works in my favors and I can manipulate it to justify what
Wait,
I want.
which position?
The small forward position.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know. I mean, maybe it's their defensive scheme. Maybe like they really hone in on those wings and small forwards, and because they were doubling every time KD touched the ball, he was getting doubled. So
Yeah.
I mean, but I am scared about this game. I mean, the Celtics are number 1 in the league in point differential. They're averaging with 11-point differential in the season, which is crazy. So it's scary. Yeah.
Is that better or worse? I feel like it's worse.
Same.
Well, for you, it's the same feed. Hold on. Let me see what I'm even using on Discord as my input. One of these I know makes like this weird scrapey noise. And it's probably this one that the chat. No, it's USB. Okay. So then I need to go to USB. Regular, right? Is that much worse? Alright. That's what I thought. Yeah, it's that chirping. God dang it, bro. So Robert Williams on Fairline on Robert Williams on PrizePicks.
Probably 36 fantasy points, and then you could roll the dice with this first half props. I know people like first half props with centers, but I mean he's averaging about 15 minutes per game in the first half, so.
All right, give me a second. I'm gonna try and
Yeah.
Live technical difficulties, man.
Do you want me to talk about the Hornets at all?
Yeah, that would be
Might
great.
do that?
That would be great.
Okay. Yeah. So with all that said about the defense, it makes me really hesitant on these guys, especially like I know Rozier. I mean, well, Rozier does traditionally do well against Celtics, especially in Boston. But yeah, I mean now with Derek White there, like I said, that perimeter defense is even stronger with White and Smart switching. But I mean Rozier, if he's gonna chuck it. So if he can get hot, his 21.5 points is always in play. And then other than that, I mean, all these other plays I'm not a huge fan on, or props I'm not a huge fan of. And yeah, LaMelo has just been so inconsistent, and I don't know, his rotation was really weird yesterday too, right? In the fourth quarter, it looked like he wasn't gonna close, but then he came in with like 2 minutes left. But he wasn't with the closing unit towards the end. I noticed, right? He wasn't in foul trouble, right?
No, matter of fact, I think he had 0 fouls, and
Yeah.
that's why when I looked up and there was like 2 minutes left and he wasn't in the closing lineup, I was like, "What the heck?"
Yeah, he eventually came back in. He came back in with, let's see, he came in at the 3-minute mark. But yeah, he missed that whole stint. So I don't know.
Bro, I don't know what's going on. All right, let me try something. I'm gonna try something. Leave the call open. Let me see. Does that change anything? Absolutely not. But yeah, you're back. I don't know, man. It's deflating. I can't figure it out. But yes, so rotation wise, LaMelo Ball was not. He had like no fouls yesterday, and there was a couple minutes left, and I noticed he wasn't in on the court to close to what we thought was going to close. He didn't come back until a couple minutes left in the fourth. But I guess to his credit, he did play almost the whole third quarter and then started the fourth quarter. So I guess they were just trying to get him a break. But was hoping for more than 30 minutes. I was hoping for 33, 34 minutes, and we haven't quite gotten there. Any prize picks leans on the Celtics or Hornets? I've been seeing some steam on like Marcus Smart assist.
Yeah, he's just a passing machine right now, man. I mean, he's looking to dish it every time, and not really shoot much. So it's definitely in play. But like I said, the way the Hornets attacked KD, if they do the same thing to Tatum, I think Tatum had 9 assists in the same matchup 3 weeks ago. And then the game before that, I think he had 3 and then 8. I don't know. I'm going off a theory that the Hornets run this type of defense, trap in the post trap. So. And yeah, you can get on Smart's 6 assists. And then the Hornets, only thing I said that stood out to me for prop boys was just Rozier because of his shot volume, and you have that little revenge narrative and game history against Celtics, but it's not a good matchup for him by any means.
Josh, I am stressing right now.
Freaking. Do you have another mic?
I switched headsets. Those are the 2 mics I've been using, but
so it's got to be an internal setting.
There's
then
got to be some weird setting that I'm missing, but I have not messed with any of this for this to even be an issue, and yeah, it is triggering me. Every time I look at chat, they can't hear me, and that's. What are we doing if they can't?
Wait, I thought they said it sounds good now, right?
I'm getting mixed reactions here. Yeah, advanced sound options, app volume, device preference. I guess they only. I don't know. I really don't. I'm out of ideas. PP video turned into a how-to. Giants are signing Trubisky. You're welcome. Oh, all right. We'll let this Bing Bong do a little talking while I try something else. I don't know. Of course, the Bing Bong is taking forever. Bing Bong!
Living with Cameron super chatted $4.99. Giants are signing Trubisky. You're welcome. I know you are a Browns fan and don't care. I mean Rams fan. My bad. Penis lickers.
We are lifelong Rams fans in here, okay? It's working just a little quiet. All right. I'll have to go back and test it, but I don't know. Oh. All right. So let's go do an on-off court tool here. I want to look at the Celtics from this side of the All-Star break. And get some official numbers. Now, I'll say this side since January 1, where they had that team breakdown in December. Yesterday I said thoughts on Shea being the highest scorer. I sound better. I didn't do the mic levels are the same. I didn't do nothing. All right, let's go January 1. It sounds better? How does it sound better? I didn't do nothing. All right. Well, plug in some headphones if you're at home. It's good. It's not a hearing thing. It's a mic thing. You guys are. All right. So Smart, Brown can hear you. I don't know. Some people are fine. Some people can't. Maybe it's not me at all, and I'm being trolled. Tatum, Smart, Brown on the court since January 1 this season. It sounds better now, like actually distinctly different than it did 5 minutes ago. Marcus Smart has a 23.5% assist rate since January 1 with Brown and Tatum on the court, so he leads them. While 23.5% doesn't sound crazy high, but he does lead the team in assist percentage with Tatum and Brown on the court. So yeah, maybe the 6 assists is a line to go after.
Yeah.
All right, let's go and get in control. I might be getting control, J. Cole. If so, you got me. And then Tatum and Brown, I usually split them in DFS, meaning I don't want overlap between them because I think they'll both project pretty well. I'm just kind of going after the ceiling. Kind of like what we saw yesterday with Kyrie and KD, whereas if you had Kyrie and not KD, you did well. If you had the inverse, you didn't do well. But if you had them both, it just negated the whole thing. So I kind of do the same thing with Brown and Tatum here. And then Robert Williams feels really hard to get to with a high level of confidence on FanDuel at almost 8K. Probably need that 40, 50 fantasy points production, but it is a fruitful matchup for it to do well. Prize pick whispers here. Let's go. All right, let's move on to the next game here. Miami Heat hosting the Phoenix Suns. Project starting 5 for the Suns. Cameron Payne, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, Jay Crowder, DeAndre Ayton taking on Kyle Lowry, Duncan Robinson, Jimmy G, Buckets, PJ Tucker, Bam Adebayo. 219.5 star total, 4-point spread in favor of the Miami Heat. Cameron Payne went ballistic yesterday, as expected. Today, Devin Booker back in the mix. Booker likely going to go right back to leading the team and everything, particularly usage. And now we kind of have an interesting fire and ice spot, right? We know Devin Booker is going to project really, really well per minute. His usage rate is going to be high, but he's going against a Miami Heat matchup that could be tough. Jimmy Butler is questionable. Butler didn't play. That would murky the water a little bit, and Kyle Lowry should play. This is one of those not quite sure what to do with it, but I guess the first question I would have is, what do you do with Cameron Payne? It does feel like the buck might stop here in terms of DFS price point if he's going to share the court with Devin Booker. But what we have seen from Cameron Payne is a really elite assist rate. And maybe that doesn't really negate or go backwards here with Devin Booker. I know we talked about how coach wanted to start using Devin Booker as the point guard and Cameron Payne or Cameron Johnson off the bench, and Payne playing with Booker here and there. Well, Cameron Johnson probably not going to play, right? So we get all of the Payne and Booker together, and then you have the questions on how healthy is Booker in terms of conditioning for being out for a little bit. I didn't know the true extent of the health and safety stay. But what do you want to do with this spot? Do you want to just do nothing from a prize pick standpoint, or do you think Cameron Payne is still something we can get behind, maybe assist-wise? Because he has shown a really elite propensity to rack up assists and create shots for his teammates.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, and I wish they had the assist prop, and they don't have it yet. I mean, I'm not surprised, right? Like, he's just dishing dimes, and they probably maybe they put it on later, so maybe that's something to look out for. But I could get with Cameron Payne's assist if it's posted later on. The Heat we talked about many times funnel defense, right? So everything's gonna funnel to the perimeter and to 3-point shooting. Book is this Crowder's bounce back? I mean, that's typical DFS prop betting for you. One guy has an awful shooting night, the next night he comes back and, especially against his former team, goes off and maybe he does from 3. So I don't know. It's 9.5. It went down from 12.5 now to 9.5. Yeah, it just really depends if he's gonna make his threes today. But other than that, I'm lukewarm on everything else.
Yeah, I want to lean a little bit more towards the Miami side. If Butler is unable to go, as a matter of fact, let's see if we can get a lean here. So I'm starting to think what the problem was is I just had you piped in much louder than me. So
I turned the gain down on my mic,
it's
too.
not you. Like, I have a mixer on the OBS.
Okay.
So now our voices are. I mean, I'm kind of peaking right before yellow anyway, so that is abnormal. But I guess you were hitting red, so I guess the mixing wasn't great. But I don't know.
Okay.
Jimmy Butler, I chat. We good? I know.
Are we good?
We good. Are we Gucci? Crazy that yesterday we didn't have no problems and we had 3 different mic levels. Jimmy Butler sinus congestion. This was questionable. Says just based on what we have learned, I guess that about Butler over the years, one has to assume that he'll be on the court for this one. If he isn't, then it's supposed to be one heck of a sinus infection. What an incredible blurb that is. If Butler's able to go, then the Heat have Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, and Victor Oladipo. And I joked about it on Twitter tonight. It's like this is going to be a really hard to predict Miami Heat team going forward, game to game. Kind of reminds me of when the Warriors had like Clay, KD, Curry. It was just like every night. You just didn't quite know what to do with them. And right now, we got some price points that could be a little too low for individual upside. Jimmy Butler, 86 on DK, 78 on Fanduel probably stands out the most. Adebayo, 85 on DK. Like, these are all really soft landing points for 40-plus fantasy points. So I have some interest in multi-mass entry. And single entry, maybe 20 or less, I try and hope that their ownership and their necessary exposure to be optimal is going to be a little bit lower. 219 total, so we're just kind of expecting more of an average game. And if that's the case, then I probably end up washing my hands from this one. But in mass entry, I could probably see myself with a little bit of Jimmy, should be able to go, and then some Adebayo on DK. And then Devin Booker on DraftKings. So, earlier I said I think the gold standard at this price point is going to be CJ McCollum. And Devin Booker is $100 cheaper than CJ McCollum on DraftKings. So I think McCollum's the snap call because you're dealing with a little bit of uncertainty in terms of Devin Booker's health. And then you're also getting a much better matchup for McCollum without Ingram against the Magic. So maybe if you got a little bit more of a set on you, you might take some Booker over McCollum here. But I could see McCollum not really, or I could see Booker not grabbing a ton of ownership at that price point, If Booker's shot is off, he's going to have to pass. Yeah. Exit says Payne won't drop another 50 burger tonight, right? I think Payne's minutes are still going to be somewhat strong. I think we can maybe not expect Landry Shamet to be that big of an impact anymore. We can just kind of stop playing him. And I think the big news here is if Cameron Johnson's going to be out, Cameron Payne could get into those mid to high 30 minutes still, and that was something that we've seen them throw on Chris Paul before he was down. So I think Cameron Payne, I think he's still very, very viable at this price point where even a shot at 40 fantasy points is something that we take advantage of. And then as a guy that has the ability to get you 12, 16 assists, if he plays more like the pure point guard than Devin Booker here, I don't think he's outside the realm of possibility to be a solid play and just kind of put the ear on the ground and play leverage versus projected ownership. He's probably dead on appropriately priced sharing a court with Booker. Booker's probably going to go right into that 30% usage role, and then Payne might be like a point per minute or a little less than a point per minute. But I don't think he's completely out of the question with Booker in just because Cameron Johnson is going to be out, and I think that's important. Let's move on to the next game here. Magic at the New Orleans Pelicans. Project starting 5 for the Magic. Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs, Franz Wagner, Wendell Carter Jr., Mo Bamba. He's got hoes calling up against CJ McCollum, Herb Jones, Tony Snell, Jackson Hayes, Jonas Valanciunas. We got 2-2-2. Another one, 2 is our total. 9-point spread in favor of the New Orleans Pelicans. And the big news, Brandon Ingram out, which is going to insert CJ McCollum and probably going to be one of our more sought-after targets in every format, DFS, prop betting, prize picks. If we pull up the Pelicans NBA Wowie tool via Add More Funds, we'll do a little bit of display here. I guess we'll check the official numbers here, but CJ McCollum on the court, Brandon Ingram off the court. especially if they, put him alongside the same starting lineup that they had yesterday. McCollum's going to have all of the usage, a 33% usage rate with just him on, Ingram off, a 43.5% assist rate, and 1.5 DraftKings fantasy points per minute, 1.4 Fanduel and PrizePicks fantasy points per minute. I mean, there's just so much to like here. McCollum's
That's what I liked yesterday when I saw those numbers, man. I jumped on it.
Yeah, he's probably going to be a free 50-plus fantasy point producer in this spot here. Orlando Magic bringing in one of the worst defensive ratings in all of basketball. Jalen Suggs, I don't think there's been definitive news on Jalen Suggs yet, but he hasn't played a pair of games now, and that's not gonna do much to bolster me in terms of McCollum exposure, whether he's in or out. But it's a 9-point spread. I mean, how often does a team get smoked by 20 plus and turn around and be 9-point favorites the next night? So that's basketball for you. But CJ McCollum looking really, really strong. I think he's going to be my highest owned FanDuel player, more than likely. Probably the same on DraftKings. Even yesterday, on the wrong side of a blowout, was a top 5 fantasy scorer on the slate. So I can't imagine much would change in terms of the approach in getting to McCollum. Pelicans lines on PrizePicks do not exist, right? They didn't put any new lines up since we got the Ingram news, so something to keep an eye on. But I don't know that they would. McCollum should be 9.5 assists, right? Like, he should be some dumb number versus what he had. What was he yesterday? 4.5, 5.5.
So he's opened at 5.5, and I jumped all over that with my early cards I hit, and it went up to 6.5 after the official Ingram news, and then he got 11 or 12. He finished with actual. Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's gonna go up to probably 8.5 or 9, and then his point total went up to, after the official Ingram news yesterday, I think it went up to 24.5. I want to say. Mm-hmm. He cleared that in just 3 quarters. I mean, he didn't play the fourth quarter, and he still took 21 shots. By far the most on the team by 2x. And like I said, he did not touch the court in the fourth quarter. You got to imagine he gets the full run here. Yeah, I mean, so I guess we don't have the props. The fantasy, I think, was at 39 yesterday. You have him at 44. I bet it goes up to like 40, 42 maybe.
Yeah.
So what are you leaning towards? Because this is like the campaign of yesterday play where we just locked and loaded as a crew. I feel like we're gonna do the same here. Do we go points or we go assists, or do we go fantasy?
If his fantasy prop is 45 or less, I'd probably take the fantasy.
Okay.
I just think it's
45 is our cutoff. You think?
I don't know if it's the cutoff, but it's like I feel strong at 45 or less. Especially if they throw out the starting lineup from yesterday, right? Herb Jones, Tony said, like they don't have a lot of offense past CJ McCollum and maybe J-Val. Devontae Graham came off the bench. You probably expect him to run the second unit. Najee Marshall, Jose Alvarado, not guys that there's no elite scorers. So it's almost kind of wild that CJ McCollum, this looks talent-wise, this is not that different than teams that McCollum was carrying in Portland, right? Game to game. Give him a center and good luck. Some J-Val playing the Nurkic role. So a 9-point spread is a pretty wild thing to see, considering the talent here in the offense that is presented before. So, but that's how bad the Magic have been. So I won't push back on that. But yes, McCollum is somebody I think clears 50 fantasy points, no minutes restriction expectation, and his 1.4, 1.5 fantasy point per minute should thrive just fine here against the Magic and their bottom 5 defensive rating. So I'm if it's under 45 fantasy points, I'd probably take the over. And then if the assists came in at under 7, right, we might still be live.
Oh, I jump on that. Yeah. If it's under 7, I'm locking that in. But I imagine it's gonna be above 8, if not 9.
I'll tell you what. There's probably a way we can look at the DK Sportsbook. Let me pull up the Sportsbook and kind of
let's pull that up.
See what they'll probably just emulate what the Sportsbooks have, right? To view the odds.
A lot of people are betting on it.
Oh yeah, and PrizePicks has been extremely selective. It feels like from what they are putting out there and what they're not.
So it's at 8.5 on FanDuel. DraftKings has not opened a line yet, so maybe that's why PrizePicks is waiting. But yeah, PointsBet is 8.5, FanDuel's 8.5, and BetMGM is 7.5.
All right, so 8.5 is we probably expect that to be the standard then. So 8.5 assists. What would that do? Do you like that or not? And that's kind of, I don't say it's counterintuitive to what I just said, but I mean, look at who he's got to rely on to make the buckets, right? J. Val and Jackson Hayes, yeah, right.
That's true. I mean, because he's gonna pass it a lot. I mean, it's just can they make the bucket? And in McCollum, he's a bucket getter, so I want to rely on a scoring too. So yeah, fantasy, I would probably lean towards more, I guess. Yeah.
I'm pulling up the DK odds on my side as well here. I want to see what they got for points on McCollum as well.
Yeah, I'm looking at that too.
But I think the fact that we can kind of just throw
27.5 right now.
Ooh. I'd probably
people are betting under on it too. Minus 128.
These are high lines for some. I'm starting to think maybe the fantasy points won't be that low. So maybe
it's gonna be high.
Yeah, all right.
It's probably 40, 43, 42.
I didn't even see the Pelicans game on DK, so maybe they just got me DK. Yeah. Let's get caught up on chat. What up, Shark? What up, Spend Duck? Steve says Payne is still a 0.96 point per minute with Booker, no Paul. Just got 5 promo dollars from PrizePicks. Let's go spend. Do we dare fire up Hayes or Anthony? I think Cole is still balling in his tins from the All-Star break. So, what happened yesterday? Cole Anthony got injured for a bit yesterday and had a little bit of a break, but he generally just was not impactful for DFS. He was pretty well owned on FanDuel. Only 27 minutes yesterday. Closed the game. The third quarter, he lost a bit of steam there. Only played a couple minutes and came out. But he didn't really lose a ton of minutes. So I'm not running to load up on Magic here. We could be ultra selective with our player pool today. If Suggs was out again and you thought it was a good buy low spot on Cole Anthony, I certainly wouldn't argue against that, especially at 6,100 on FanDuel, where he does have 40, 50 fantasy point upside. But I also understand the trepidation behind it. The biggest points of success in terms of fantasy points against the Pelicans have been point guard center. So Cole Anthony looks just fine, but wouldn't be something that becomes a core play for me. Do y'all like shy first half points more or whole game? We've been leaning first half for games that we have as lopsided, and this game is very it was the Blazers game was the 18-point spread. The Thunder game was 14.5. And have we seen this game? This is the third time we're running this game going.
Yeah.
So I don't know. First half still probably is the right way to go. All right, let's get back here. Any favorite props for the big slate? What up, Alex? We're working on it, man. We're jotting them down. Have you written anything down in stone yet? I haven't got anything. I was thinking maybe Marcus Smart assist, but it wasn't like a tier 1 play yet.
I got Tatum assists and I got Robert Williams fantasy so far through the games that we've gone through, and then McCollum. Wait and see, but we definitely want one of his props.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, let's move on to actually, let me see if we can get a Jalen Suggs bit of information. If he doesn't play, we might see more R.J. Hampton. And, of course, Markelle Fultz has been in the mix. But do they protect Fultz on a back-to-back? Yeah, he's out. So we might get more minutes of Cole Anthony tonight if Suggs is out as well. Jalen Suggs, right ankle sprain, list is questionable. If he doesn't play, R.J. Hampton should get another start. Fultz would be a safer option from DFS. Probably not that safe, NBC Sports Footage. Probably not that safe. Don't play guys that are out. All right, Lakers at the Houston Rockets. Projects 25 for the Lakers. Russell Westbrook, Malik Monk, Austin Reeves, Stanley Johnson, and LeBron James taking on Kevin Porter, Jalen Green, Eric Gordon, Jayshawn Tate, and Alperen Sengun. Maybe 234 is our total 5.5 point spread in favor of the LA Lakers. So a bit of news on this game. We'll start with the Houston side. Christian Wood is the probably the most significant news for this game outside of LeBron James. Christian Wood questionable with an illness. He was not at shoot-around this morning, so it's looking like there's a possibility he will not play. He didn't play that last game. If that is the case, Sengun likely to draw the start. And then we had some floating cues and what-ifs on the rest of this Houston lineup. Dennis Schroeder being one of them. He's dealing with a right ankle sprain. He has missed 4 straight games, so if he can't go, that'll be a 5th. And then on the Lakers side, LeBron James it was kind of a surprise out against San Antonio, though. Like, it wasn't like he wasn't on the injury report. But he's been questionable all year,
right?
Maybe. He's considered questionable for this game. Says he's no stranger to an injury report. He's been on acute. So, if the Lakers are full strength here, it's funny that LeBron James and Russell Westbrook and these guys are only 5-point favorites against one of the worst defenses in all of basketball. But this could be a huge spot to target LeBron James, if nothing else, especially if he starts at the center spot today, which he just might. Some nights they throw Dwight out there, but they've been more matchup centric here, and then the Rockets playing fast-paced bad defense might be one of those small ball lineups where they use LeBron here. If they did that, LeBron James could be the highest scorer on the slate. I got him for 63 Fanduel points, which is the same as PrizePicks, and if we put that in the context to the full slate, 60. Let's see, sorted, take all the zeros out. 63 would be right up there with Jokic's and Doncic's of this slate, and that is all within 0.2 of a fantasy point. So standard deviation could really swing his way, not just for DFS but for PrizePicks as well, as probably one of the most elite plays on the slate, going against a matchup that we've been picking on all year. I mean, this is just a Honeywell of fantasy points waiting to happen. So if LeBron James can play, I'm all about it. And then this game becomes one of the more targetable games because Houston, by hook or by crook, they've been part of some Donnie Brooks lately. And if we take out Christian Wood, we can elevate probably our interest in a guy like Kevin Porter. If Jayshawn Tate can play, he has a cute tag. Once the dust settles on this injury report, we can probably sink our teeth into a couple of Rockets with a little bit more confidence than usual, especially if we get a guy like Christian Wood out, and then maybe one more of these solid minute guys out as well. Maybe we have a little bit more of a high predictive value on the Lakers side. We know 30 minutes of Malik Monk's probably coming our way. Who knows what we're getting from 6,800 Russell Westbrook on FanDuel. But LeBron James stands out quite a bit. Did PrizePicks dare give us some Lakers lines yet?
Just 3.
Just 3. Melo, Monk, and Westbrook. Fudge. Man.
Melo revenge game, right?
It's everyone in this game is a revenge. Westbrook, Dwight Howard, Carmelo, it's the whole team.
The cast-offs versus the cast-offs.
Pretty much. Dennis Schroeder in this. I don't know, man.
Oh yeah, right. It's. I mean, they don't have any Rockets either, and then I checked the sports books, and they're waiting too on injury news. They don't have anything.
Yeah, I think it's just mainly carryover from last. But I'm gonna guess LeBron is in, but I truly don't know. The reason why it just seems like the sense of urgency to win is now. Either that or they just gave up. And sometimes their body language while they're out there looks like maybe they gave up. But I hate going into that realm of analysis because it becomes more barbershop, more gossipy. But the Lakers have truly been quite the sight to watch throughout the season. But this is the Rockets, and the Rockets have been such a good spot all year long. So if everyone is in, LeBron James at 10.4K on FanDuel, I think that's going to be one of my highest owned exposure points. I was sitting on 70%, no joke, 70% LeBron James against the Spurs the other night, and at 7:01 when that news dropped, man, it was chaos trying to late swap into distributing that salary elsewhere. I'm probably going to be right there, again, assuming that he does play with extremely high ownerships. I'm seeing LeBron, I'm seeing CJ McCollum. Those guys are looking like fixtures in my lineups tonight. So what are you doing with this game? Do you want to tackle any Rockets numbers here? And then I guess assuming LeBron James did play, that would probably be the bulk of interest for prize pick purposes. Maybe we target some assists, but rebounds have been nice for us for LeBron. And then, just overall fantasy points. When I get a guy at 60 fantasy points, usually that's going to be, +8 versus the median projection that prize picks is going to throw out. If they had LeBron at 50 fantasy points, would you get on the over on that one?
Yeah, I mean, and especially if it's center LeBron, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then, for the Rockets, I'll have to see what the props look like. But, I mean, Kevin Porter and Jalen Green would be live in this matchup if you wanted to run it back with one of the Rockets guys with LeBron. It just all depends on their props.
Yeah. I'm putting an order for a tea. Any Kevin Porter Jr. love?
Yeah. I was saying.
We don't have
depending on his props.
Right.
Depending on his props, I like his matchup because, guards and point guards versus the Lakers has been really fruitful. So I could get on it for sure.
One number I'm getting for this game that looks really, really good is the Şengün line, 4,600 on Fanduel. I'm getting over a 40 fantasy point projection. We know per minute Şengün has been a beast. So if he can, if we do get Christian Wood out, I would imagine a sub 5K Şengün is going to project really, really high owned. 30 minutes against Miami. Miami's one of the tougher interior defenses. Got you dang near a point per minute in that spot. So going against a Lakers team that has been really, really bleeding real points in the paint to opposing teams, and then of course really fruitful spot for fantasy points as well. Şengün is probably going to profile extremely well on both sides, but that would of course anchor on Christian Wood being out. So something to keep an eye on for DFS. Let me get caught up on chat here. Sound like we're doing all right. Chat, you want to get those likes going, man? 30 likes. We're an hour in to the mega stream. I appreciate you guys hanging out and being part of the rocky start, but it sounds like we're good now, man. You guys, we've got that all settled. Shout out to Josh Gilham in the chat, J. Cole in the chat, Matt Polchin's in the chat, Cola's in the chat, Keith Seal in the chat, Dom Davis. Any favorite props on the big slate yet? Alex, not yet. I thought we would have more lines.
Yeah.
Like 12 games. We've hit a few spots where we just don't have lines to target. But yeah. Oh, look at that. Oh, he's got the
I'll put it up here.
The hot tub stream whiteboard being put in use. McCollum fantasy. There we go. Nice handwriting. What up, Lanakia? Sabonis out, cancel your ticket. Yeah, Sabonis getting that suspension. You do wonder if he's going to appeal it. I don't know how that, how quick that appeals process would kick in here, or if he's just going to take it. Jalen Green's going to have a comeback game. You think so, Travis? I don't think that's a crazy thought, but I would say if Eric Gordon's in the mix and Garrison Matthews in the mix, all those guys that are kind of scoring only, it does make him a little bit more volatile, but I don't think that's like a crazy take. I also don't hate getting to some Malik Monk in this matchup. Wouldn't get to an exuberant amount, but could see 30, 40 fantasy points for his style of play, right? What up, Rory? You doing all right? Hopefully you guys are vibing, chat. Chat, do me one favor, though. Just one, right now. See the graphic? Hit that like button. Double check to see if you're subscribed. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. Hit that noti bell. I don't know what it is about that 666 number yesterday, but we're still stuck on it. Matter of fact, I've lost 2 subscribers. Wow. maybe the improper mic levelization got you guys out of here. So if you guys are out there watching, you're not subscribed, maybe you like the content, hit that sub button and be part of the action going forward. Atlanta Hawks going forward against the Milwaukee Bucks. Bucks night 2 of a back-to-back. We were wrong yesterday. We thought that they might rest some guys, or at least some notable guys. It didn't quite happen. Milwaukee played everyone and went out there and got themselves a dub. Hawks projected starting 5. Trae Young, Kevin Huerter, DeAndre Hunter, John Collins, and Clint Capella taking on Drew Holiday, Grayson Allen, Chris Middleton, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Bobby Portis. We got 240 total with a 4.5 point spread in favor of the Milwaukee Bucks. This is a tighter game projection wise and spread wise, so we might get those full quarter implied minutes from Giannis Antetokounmpo. And then with cross referencing the team metrics here, we're getting an Atlanta Hawks team that full strength with Collins, with Kevin Huerter, with those type of guys. They actually project as one of the best offenses in basketball, 114.9 points per 100 possessions on the seasons. That's number 2 in offensive efficiency. And then, of course, Milwaukee not far behind, 113.6, so it should be a little bit of a shootout. The caveat here is that Atlanta boasts the 4th worst defensive rating in all of basketball, while Milwaukee quite a bit better, above average. So you got to kind of make the most of your possessions if you're going to be Atlanta here going against Milwaukee. We've seen this game play out a few times. I know we were on Trae Young. I think it was assists against Milwaukee last time, and then the first quarter was nuts. But in 2 games against Milwaukee this season, Trae Young's averaging 63 DraftKings points per game, 10.5 assists per game, and 36 real points per game. And they last played on January 17th, where Young clocked 40 minutes of action. So could be a shootout, catching the Bucks on night 2, maybe a little more fatigue. But everything that we like checkbox wise is looking good, right? 240 total. Single digit spread. Trae Young stands out quite a bit. Josh, what was standing out to you? I'm curious about, could we get a bad Capella line and get inside of the under? Looking at the Hawks lines on PrizePicks right now, we have Capella they had him at 27 fantasy points, so I guess that's appropriate. But I do think we're getting back to Capella not closing games in close ones, and getting more Collins at the 5, getting some more Okongwu to close out. So we should be getting back to 22-minute Capella, which is what we saw on the other end of the All-Star break. Last game, 32 minutes. That includes overtime, so you shave off those overtime minutes here. I don't think we're getting a big allotment of minutes out of Capella, so I don't know if the projections are going to adjust appropriately on PrizePicks, but it looks like 27. That's probably too close for call. The big boys here, Trae Young, Giannis Antetokounmpo, high expectations. I'm getting well over 50 fantasy points on their projections for both Fanduel and DK. What prop would you not want to get behind here, man? Do you have a hankering for Trae Young? I think Trae Young's assist prop is probably something I can get behind with this implied total. Yeah. Teams projected for over 110.
That one stood out to me. I mean, because when Collins came back, we saw a direct effect right away. Impact, like he got so many assists through Collins on cuts to the lane, dunks, and alley-oops, and just even corner shots. So, the Bucks, another funnel defense, right? So they're going to funnel everything to the perimeter. Trae should get a lot of drive kickouts because of that, like we saw exactly what we saw last night with SGA. I think SGA had a crazy amount of assists when I was watching that game. What did he finish with? I think it was like 14, 15.
Mm-hmm.
14 assists he finished with. It was just like every time I just saw him, he was just cutting to the basket, kicking out, and OKC was just making 3 after 3 after 3, wide open, and that so a lot easier to make those, and that's why they were going in, because the Bucks are just so focused on stopping you from driving and covering the paint. Yeah, so I mean, if guys like Huerter and Bogdan and Collins can make their threes, I'm all about Trae's 9.5 assists. And at this point, his point prop is live too in this fast-paced matchup. It's usually around 27.5, and it's down to 26.5 today. So, you could definitely get on that. But if I had to pick between the two, between his points and assists, I'd probably lean assist, just because they're fully healthy now, and yeah, with Collins being back and helping him, reach that assist opportunity. Other than that, nothing stands out to me for the Hawks.
Josh, you look like you're cutting an Undertaker-esque promo, bro. I know your lights changed, I guess, and this time we're getting that creepy purple Undertaker vibe. Looking at...
because I was getting reflection on the whiteboard, so I cut off one of my lights.
Oh, okay. I mean, hey, it don't bother me. It
is dark, man.
Like you're...
I'll turn it back on.
Quote the Raven, never mooring us with some fire DFS picks. So we talk about attacking the Bucks via the three ball. The last game, they didn't sink as many threes as you might expect. A lot of free throws. Trae Young actually went to the free throw line 14 times and shot 100% from the free throw line in that game. But 6 3-point attempts from Trae Young in that last outing, 7 from Herter, 6 from Hunter, 9 from John Collins. This one was on the January 17th, so that did not have Clint Capella. And then, of course, 2, 2, 3 from Lou Williams, DeLon Wright, guys like that. And then the first outing that I believe did have Clint Capella, we saw 13 3-point attempts out of Trae Young. He shot 8 for 13 in those attempts. Bogdanovich, 2 for 5, and then off the bench, Gallo chucked 5 times. So attacking the Bucks with 3-point shooters is still kind of the process here. And I guess for looking at the last 2 games, there's a couple of things that weren't the same. Bogdan's availability, Capella's availability. I'm willing to stay with Trae Young. Obviously, 9,500 I think is a softer landing point than 10.3K on DK. Both of them live for 50, 60 fantasy points. Bogdanovich has been getting us 30-ish fantasy points as of late, with and without John Collins. He's certainly somebody that if they go a little bit smaller, stretch out with Collins at the 5 or Gallo in the mix, and even get Bogdan out there as well, I still think 30 minutes is something that he can get to. And if we're just trying to grab exposure to reasons why this game hits a 240 total, he's certainly in play here. I'd probably start him as a tier 3. Same with everyone not named Trae Young. Trae Young's probably going to be on the tier 2 level for me. Drew Holiday's up to 9K on FanDuel. He was 9K yesterday, and I was even wondering, I was like, heck, even if Giannis didn't play yesterday, how much 9K Drew Holiday do I get to? But he's under 8K on DraftKings. 40-plus fantasy points is well within the realm of possibility. Same with Chris Middleton, but probably the two that stand out the most is Giannis Antetokounmpo. He has every bit of 70-plus fantasy point potential tonight. And Bobby Portis said on FanDuel, power forward eligible at 6,100. Certainly something that can net you 30, 40 fantasy points. So lots to like here, but certainly some appropriate prices to make some of this water a little bit more murky than it should be, right? What up, DJ? Do we keep rolling with SGA? We've been chopping him in half, like first half stuff, but yeah, his usage is so high that we've seen usage usurp spreads and stuff like that. Last night, McCollum and SGA both part of pretty lopsided games, and they were still very valuable for prop betting and DFS. What up, Willie Hoops? Says PrizePicks lock of the night. Wendell Carter over 26.5 PRA. All right, let's go. Jotting that down. Steve says Undertaker vibe sounds like the worst. Oh, God. All right. Making a fat man blush. Dangley's Mofo says, leave it dark. Gotta stay on brand with the Mad Genius vibes. Yes, it does look like on the other side was like a science tray of bubbling beaker. What is it? Beakers bubbling over with it's alive. He's created optimizer. What up, Parker? I've been riding Portis over first half points for 5 straight now, going back to the well. All right, first half. Let's look into that, Parker. Chat, you guys, don't keep the fire to yourself. Be like Parker, especially on PrizePicks, right? I get it. Some of you guys keeping that fire to yourself on DK and FanDuel, where we're competing against each other. Hey man, we try to take Prize Picks money, man. Give me the fire on Prize Picks. So you like Bobby Portis' first half points, real points. He's cleared this in what 4 of his last 5. All right, fantasy points is at 15. Cleared that also in 4 of his last 5. All right, Parker. All right, might add that to the list of things we might be getting action on tonight. Right? You almost got me, Steve. Why you got 50-something likes and 130-something watching? Man, Isaiah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe, lurkers that, I don't know. Maybe they don't have YouTube accounts, right? Maybe that's what it is. People are watching without an account, right? There's no other reason why some of the coolest people in all the world are hanging out right now. Haven't smashed that thumbs up button. Especially, probably pretty soon we get over 200 views, and then we really don't have an excuse to not be high in the likes. Thunder at the T-Wolves. Next game on the docket from the Department of Redundancy Department. This game's like deja vu all over again. SGA, Trey Mann, Aaron Wiggins, Darius Baisley, and Isaiah Roby taking on Patrick Beverley, D'Angelo Russell, crossing over with Anthony Edwards, Jared Vanderbilt, and Karl Anthony Towns, the big cat, Ernie Ladd. 232 is our total. 14.5 point spread in favor of the Minnesota Timberwolves. And let's refresh that. Let's refresh the injury news and notes. And then also let me go look at the RunDFS.com NBA VIP Discord, see if we've had any more alerts for news, because I know this game definitely had some news attached to it that we need to keep an eye on. So since we've last checked, Porzingis expected to play. Derek Favors listed as out. Trey Mann listed as out. Kenrich Williams remains out. And then the key news to watch, good stuff there. Simon's listed as out. Ooh, Simon's out. So that's actually something I didn't have earlier. All right, so Trey Mann, I just read his name out. Well, he's not playing today, so really don't know what we're looking at. It's SGA and the Sunshine Gang up against potentially a full-strength T-Wolves team. So let's go pull up the T-Wolves injury news and notes. Patrick Beverley has officially a Q tag on him with right ankle soreness. Jared Vanderbilt left quad contusion. Jalen Noel's probable. Anthony Edwards probable. And D'Angelo Russell probable. So this is a nasty spot for the Thunder here. So I guess this is last night we saw SGA lead the slate in fantasy points. Matter of fact, it's been a few games in a row now where SGA has just been I'm 10K because I'm like that. 72, 63, 50, 50, 67. Josh, the process says we should not love 15-point underdog guys on a back-to-back. What say you about SGA props tonight? And then, DFS in mind as well. I think maybe the spread will keep me off the T-Wolves side. If they're going to be full strength, I'm just going to hope all of them are perfectly average. But SGA is certainly the question mark here. Is it still just target the first half prop on SGA and whatever happens in the second half happens?
Yeah, the first half's definitely in play because, I mean, he's going to play the whole first quarter. And you got to imagine now with Trey Mann out, that's almost 15 shots to account for missing, and about 10 to 15 points. You got to imagine he's going to take even more shots in that first quarter. And so the Timberwolves now have become the fastest team in the league. They're ranked number 1 in pace. I kind of called that happening just based on the trend and what they were doing in the offense. So, yeah, they're the fastest team. So this, should be a early shootout in the beginning and running at a very fast pace with a lot of possessions in the first half. So it makes sense to get on that first half prop, and then you don't have to worry about blowout risk, which is very possible. The only thing that I would really hope for if I wanted this game to stay close is if Roby's status. Do we have any updates, or is he just game time decision again today?
Didn't he play yesterday?
Yeah, he did play, didn't he? Yeah, he was late addition. Yeah, so if he plays again today,
he should.
I would feel better. But yeah, Trey Man, that's just another 10 to 15 points right there missing. It's not looking good for him, man. But they're scrappy. I mean, they are scrappy.
Definitely a more scrappier than like the Blazers. Projection wise, I guess I need to adjust for Trey Man being out, but I would expect Roby Baisley to be second to SGA. Maybe Pokusevski gets up there as well. It's a pretty cheap team. You mentioned how the T-Wolves are fast paced, and their defensive rating is certainly exploitable, but this is an uphill battle any which way you slice it for the Thunder. I don't know, man. I probably still stay to being underweight on SGA and DFS. But I don't know. I'm getting sick of looking up, and SGA's the nuts, and he's getting smoked by 20.
Yeah, it's just the obvious. It's one of those obvious things, right? Like he is the only guy. Like, I mean, what's your opinion? Do you think it's a combination of both of things, where it's just the benefit of being the only guy and having all the usage on a team, or do you think he's actually the most improved player of the year?
I don't know. Most improved player of the year is usually really, really skewed based on more minutes and more usage. It's not necessarily it's not like year over year true shooting percentage increase or something like that. That'd be one thing. But in his case, he's still losing, and he's just taking the bulk of the shots on the losing team. But obviously he's talented, but I guess you're saying, is he that much better this year than he was last year? Sure, but I don't know. MIP is such a skewed thing that I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they got him up to 29.5 points now, right? I don't know why he was sitting at 26 for a while. That didn't make any sense.
I think I get to. So I don't know. I want to see where his ownership has field wise. Like I say, he's been planting big numbers on this 10.7, 10.2K, and he has a couple of outings against this T-Wolves team in the last couple weeks. So I certainly think 50 plus fantasy points is well within the realm of possibility here. And on top of all that, the Thunder have just been generally short anyway. We've seen them have as little as 8 men in a rotation lately, with that laundry list of outs. It's bad, and we do have favorites out here. So with Trey Man being back to the out list here, he might just play big minutes, and it's not necessarily scoreboard dependent. So I'll probably get to him. I just have to wrestle with just how much. But are you staying off of the T-Wolves big three with their full strength here in a matchup where which one of them can pop? Anthony Edwards got down to 6,300 on FanDuel, man. That's cheap. That's really cheap for.
Yeah, that's cheap, man. Yeah.
But Cats had some of those big games lately. That did come alongside no Edwards in spots with no D-Russ as well. So I guess as that injury news tightens up a little bit for the T-Wolves here, but we do expect the big three to all be active here, and I do think that murkies the water enough. But they all have upside individually. If we remove Patrick Beverley, all right, if that Q tag turns into a rest day, maybe D-Russ assist prop is something we can get behind. If we pull up the NBA Wowie tool for Minnesota, and let's put Russell on the court. Let's put the big three on the court, and then I guess just for the heck of it, we'll take Beverly off the court just to see if that would move the needle for us. What up, Adam Palmer? You doing all right? We have a 31% assist rate for D-Russ with a 1.2 plus fantasy point per minute production. So I guess they're still live in DFS. We're just worried about that game getting a little out of control. Right. But that's a pretty healthy assist rate for D'Angelo Russell, over 30%. Do we have?
Assists are usually pretty. Usually like 6 or 7. So just depends on what they're dropping at.
Isn't it annoying that we made this 3-hour time slot for a 12-game slate, and it's another team that's not on the board on PrizePicks, man?
Why? And not in the sports books either. What's going on with the?
I guess it's the Beverly news.
What? He's always questionable.
Yeah, I don't know. You're like I don't know. You're like matrixing out on me a little bit voice wise, but I think hopefully it was just a Wi-Fi burp.
Oh,
I think
okay.
you're good now.
Let me know if it keeps up and I can try unplugging.
Yeah, I don't know. Jeremy says without SGA, Gonzaga could probably give them a run in a game. The Thunder, I think the Blazers might be that. Sometimes you could Ohio State beat the Jaguars or whatever, and you're just like, no, it's an NFL team. Could one of these college teams beat the Blazers team without Simons? I don't know, man. Yeah, I guess it's still a dumb debate, but I think it's a little more viable in a game that isn't really physical like football. Football, you're trying to put grown dudes against some college kids, but there's probably a team or two that might take the current Blazers to the woodshed. Man, that team needs to be relegated. Let's move on to the Mavericks hosting the New York Knicks. Project starting five for the Knicks: Alec Burks, Evan Fournier, R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson taking on Luka Doncic, Jalen Brunson, Reggie Bullock, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Dwight Powell. 216s are total, 8.5 point spread in favor of the home team. Dallas Mavericks, low total, low pace. We're dealing with two of the slowest paced teams in all of basketball. However, both these teams have offered some fantasy goodness as of late. Dallas has the lowest pace. New York has the third lowest pace on the season. But Luka, in these competitive games without Porzingis, he has really shined. 60 to 70 fantasy points when he's out there. We've seen a Q tag on Jalen Brunson, so I guess we can go deal with that. Let's see, Q tag. Brunson's probable. All right. And then on the Knicks side, since the All-Star break, R.J. Barrett has really thrived, and Julius Randle's had some spike games as well. Status of Mitchell Robinson is still up in the air. He's been dealing with an illness. He played a couple of snaps in that Kings game, ended up sitting out the rest of the game, and then it looks like he might have missed a shoot-around or two. We don't want to get too crazy with the slowest implied game in the history of the season, but there are some spots. I guess I'll say this. If I end up with no Knicks, I don't hate life. 10K for Julius Randle and DK, whatever, bro. If that kills me, that kills me in this pace. Just 8,600 for him feels a little bit cooler. 77 for RJ Barrett, 8K on DK for RJ Barrett. Kind of medium. Like, I'm not that excited. It's Luka Doncic that kind of stands out the most. At 11K on Fanduel, 12K on DraftKings, he legitimately, has a right and a pre-flop to lead this slate in fantasy points. I talked about that 0.2, 0.3 tenth of a fantasy point between my top three right now. In terms of fantasy point projections, it was Luka up there, Nikola Jokic, and LeBron James, 61.4, 61.1, 60.79. So standard deviation being what it is, any which one of those guys profiles elite play. So I'm on the fence about what to do with this game for fantasy. I'm thinking the most likely outcome for me is I'm getting to a little bit of Luka, and that's it on a 12 gamer. Do you disagree? Do you have some leans here for PrizePicks?
I'm coming home.
I'm coming home.
Maybe I'll change your mind a little bit here. Julius Randle, born and raised in Dallas. Last year in Dallas, he dropped 44 real life points, 70 Fanduel points. After the game, direct quote, I'm going to read you what he said.
Okay.
I was locked in, focused. I always loved playing at home in front of my friends, my best friends, in front of my family. I never take those moments for granted. He has had a lot of success in Dallas. I think the last time when he was on the Lakers, when he went to Dallas, he went off.
Okay.
Do we get the same narrative? I mean, that was a direct quote I found in the Knicks article after that game last year. 40 fantasy points. I'm gonna roll with it just because if he, when he gets on a heater too, he'll keep it up, and he's the kind of guy who plays with motivation and gets up with a motivated game. So I'm gonna ride it. 40 fantasy points.
All right. He played 41 minutes that game, 44 real points, and he took 29 shot attempts. That's a lot.
Yeah, because he said he was ready for this game. He had it marked on his calendar.
All right. We'll see. We'll see if he keeps that same energy here. You know, narratives are narratives. Whatever, bro. The matchup. I don't know. I guess if Mitchell Robinson were to be out, I'd be a little bit more inclined, and I'd definitely be in there.
Yeah, that's an assumption. Yeah, that's he's out. Like, I like it. So
I like the Fanduel price more. All right, so if you do like the thought of liking the thought of Randall, what are you targeting here? Is real points 23?
probably that, and then his fantasy, just because he'll get assists and some rebounds and blocks too. So
Okay. I might leave you on that island, bro.
I'm not saying I'm gonna go heavy on it. I'm saying I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna roll with it in one card, just for the narrative's sake. Like for the fun of it.
Yeah. We'll make a video out of it. I bet on every narrative on the slate. Here's what happened. Dude, the thumbnail writes itself, bro. I got this. What up, Tyler? Says De'Aaron Fox for Sacramento. And I really like Utah, but not a fan of Jokic tonight. I don't know why, but I feel like it'll be a waste of money. Also, Booker is ready to eat. All right, Tyler. I'm with that. Jermaine says, what do you think of Luka assists? So Luka everything is all the way live.
I didn't talk about that last game. I bet on his assists.
Mm-hmm.
He was throwing up, dimes, behind the back passes, like alley-oops. And these guys, Powell he pulled a Sprite commercial and hit the rim trying to dunk it with the alley-oop. And then Bertans missed a wide open put in layup from behind the back pass from Luka. There was like 3 or 4 easy baskets that these guys are missing. So, it's just something, it's just the way it goes with assists. And I don't know. It's Lucas, right? So maybe points is the way to go.
Maybe I can be your motivation. Jalen Brunson was out that game, right? So maybe throw Jalen Brunson back in the saddle for him to score. Sure. PrizePicks has Luka at 31 real points, 9 boards, 8.5 assists. That's 50.5 PRA, 56 fantasy points. My initial run was 63, so I'm getting like a +7 margin of difference. So I don't mind it, but again, I don't know. It's just something feels processually wrong with targeting like the lowest pace game of the season.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I'm not running to this spot. Like I said, I would be heavy LeBron James tonight if he's for sure gonna play. Adam says Simon's out. Brandon Williams a lock. Yeah, probably. They were like 18-point underdogs, and that might have moved up since definitive Simons news came out. Cameron Hallett, what up, Cameron? Says Cade PRA. That one's intriguing. We talked like Isaiah Stewart was an elite rebounder, right? But Marvin Bagley can come in and also pick up some real points. But I guess it all just kind of gels together. I didn't really have any strong leans on the Pistons, so I guess that's fine. What is this?
Tea.
Oh, I just thought the bottle. I have a bunch of bottles in there, don't I?
Did you ask for tea?
Yeah.
I did not. I just was doing that because I wanted to.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, I DM'd you. Hello.
You did?
Mhm.
I'm on the phone, so I'm sorry.
All right. We run a professional show here, folks. Yeah, I think it's just some Luka for me, and that's it. Dallas has been really good at shutting down the perimeter as well. So I guess if to tack on to your Randall infatuation, yeah, he's got to score a little bit more in the paint if they're gonna play up to the metrics here. Alex says, any favorite props? Yo, Alex, you just like leave and come back every 30 minutes. Any favorite props? Look at the board, man. He's got McCollum fantasy points, Robert Williams fantasy points, and we'll go from there. All right, Raptors at the Spurs. Next game on the docket. Did we get the Van Vliet ever get rolled in or out? It was one of those. He said he was going to play things.
But is he actually going to play?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's Nick Nurse, right? He could be unlikely, and we probably still have to put him in the projection.
Right.
Van Vliet. Let me double check that before we dive too far into this one. Who listed as questionable and said he'll play against the Spurs. All right. So we got the Toronto Raptors at the San Antonio Spurs. Projection 25 for the Raptors. Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr., Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, and Kem Birch up against DeJounte Murray, Devin Vassell, Dougie McBuckets, Kellen Johnson, and Jakob Poeltl. Am I not Poeltl enough for the Poeltl Club? 228.5 total, 2.5 point spread in favor of the visiting Toronto Raptors. Fred VanVleet, 7,300 on FanDuel, 8,200 on DK. So I have him softly projected at 33. We know Nick Nurse tends to give all of his starters 37-plus minutes, and Anunoby still being out, and Malachi Flynn being out. Probably a good chance VanVleet gets thrown into the fire for 35-plus minutes right off the bat. This is one of those minutes equals money, and there's a lot of minutes for these Raptors against a very, very susceptible Spurs defense that has been really, really bad. So everyone in this Raptors starting lineup, sans maybe Kem Birch, is probably going to make the cut in terms of my player pool. With Gary Trent being an intriguing click. Scotty Barnes is an expensive click. Maybe we walk backwards on that price point with VanVleet in the cut. But Siakam at 8,300. There's a lot to like here. I think we're going to set some rules here, prevent too much overlap between a couple of guys, and maybe just kind of hope for the two ceiling spots here. But the Spurs defensive rating, 111.7 points per 100 possessions. They have certainly been a very, very targetable matchup. They've also been led by a fantasy monster, a unicorn, if you will, DeJounte Murray, 10.2K on FanDuel, 11.3 on DraftKings, 50-plus fantasy points, the soft projection for him. It's just a 2.5 point spread, nearly a 230 total. Pace up spot for the Raptors. With VanVleet in the cut here, Josh, where are we leaning at on either side? I'll say for DFS, I am going to always have exposure to DeJounte Murray from a pick-on-me standpoint. I think VanVleet's actually in a really good spot if we can have a high level of faith in his minutes, because his price is really, really low on both sites. But did you think that there was any exploitable lines on PrizePicks? And what is your general just like thought process and game theory on this game and how it plays out?
Yeah, I'm not getting a really good vibe on it, because although I like playing guys in a Spurs game because of the pace and their defense, but I mean the Raptors lately have been so frustrating and just been really inefficient on offense. And I know VanVleet's been out, and that's a big reason why. But I want to see with this first game back, since he's been out, how they look and how they gel back together. It's risky. I mean, I see it for a DFS perspective, but for me, for a prop, like it's risky in my mind to target any of them with him coming back. I mean, both these teams are top 5 in least amount of steals and turnovers allowed too.
Mm-hmm.
So you have guys like DeJounte and Gary Trent who live off those steals for their fantasy points. What's your read? I'm nothing standing out to me prop wise yet.
So let's go look at the NBA Wowie tool. Let's go pull up Toronto, and let's put VanVleet on the court with Siakam, and then let's take off Anunoby, and I'll let the rest kind of just fill in where it fills in. Press like me, yo Shark, you tell him, man. Y'all hit that like button. I appreciate that. VanVleet, Siakam on, Anunoby off. They've definitely been experimenting more with Scotty Barnes running point, but obviously with VanVleet back in the mix here, we can walk back on some of that. Siakam leads the team in usage in this split. It's a little loose of a split since it's I didn't put everyone on at 30%, and this is since January 1st, mind you. 25% usage there on Fred VanVleet. Both these guys over fantasy point per minute. Everything lines up appropriately. I'm just looking for a little bit of a upside spike because, yeah, the Spurs, they don't allow a lot of, they don't turn the ball over a ton here, but they still suck on defense, right? They're still very, very attackable. So if we can sink our teeth into some of these usage guys, maybe we get into some real points. San Antonio is on the season less than average defensively, but as of late, it seems like every one of their game totals is like 230, 240.
Yeah.
So, scorer's going to score. Who do we expect to take the most shots? Van Vliet, Trent, Siakam. Maybe we spin the wheel on these three. I have, let's see, Gary Trent. They have Gary Trent at 20.5 real points. Yeah, that's probably priced appropriately. I don't feel like that's.
I mean, that's usually below 20 when Van Vliet's playing, so that's a little juiced.
Yeah, I guess all these lines are spot on then.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the Van Vliet assist, but they're, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Van Vliet's assist rate is 27%. Siakam still has a really strong assist rate as well.
Oh
with
God,
Van Vliet.
he burned us that day, man. When Malachi Flynn and Van Vliet were out, but then Scotty Barnes was announced as the starting point guard, and Siakam had like 2 assists all game, and then he got like 2 late ones and hooked because the line was 4.
Yeah.
They weren't passing the ball at all. They were just all driving it to the basket. I mean, I guess it makes sense with your floor general out, Van Vliet. Everyone's gonna look to score on their own.
Yeah. All right. So price picks might be a wash here, but for DFS, I think all these guys have a price point and a decent projection. Then I'm gonna put them in the pool. I'm definitely gonna have Van Vliet, Trent, Barnes, Siakam in the pool. If I had to guess exposure this far out, I'd probably have the most of Siakam on Fanduel. And probably the second most of Van Vliet based on the prices, and then Trent and Barnes. Barnes will probably be the guy I have the least of, just based on him being over 7K. And then I probably drive a few wedges. I probably don't want more than 2 of those 4 tonight in the same lineup. So in mass entry, let them fall where they fall, but max of two out of those 4. And then on the Spurs side, Devin Vassell at 5,900 on FanDuel, 54 on DK. Langford out. He might be somebody I get behind for a shot in the dark for 30 fantasy points, but DeJounte Murray's clear-cut going to be the highest owned piece of the Spurs that I get to. Keldon Johnson's intriguing just because of his potential minutes here, but past that, it's going to be a little bit more of a healthy-look Spurs team than we have been accustomed to as of late, including Lonnie Walker there as well. Lonnie Walker kind of cheap on DK. Every now and then we'll pop off at that price point, but DeJounte is going to be the bulk of my interest if we're keeping things tight with 12 games. Super logical. CJ's at 26.5 points. Do you like guys like that? Oh, so did we get some? We got some Pelicans lines. That's a good call out there. Logical. That's huge. Chat. We were waiting for Pelicans lines. What else were we waiting on? We were waiting on a bunch of T-Wolves lines.
They're juiced.
All
They're
right.
juiced.
So we were looking for under 50 fantasy points. They gave us 46.
No, we were looking for under 45. They got him at 46. But yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
They definitely watch. They're definitely watching it. Like, oh, you 45? Bet.
Yeah.
Here's 46
right?
for you.
Yeah, right.
Shout out
His
to
assist prop is 1 less than sportsbooks.
Okay. So he was at 8.5 on FanDuel, right?
Yeah.
Get them while they're hot, right? They're only gonna go up.
That'll get juiced. I noticed they'll do this. They'll release a prop and then they'll adjust it according to the sports book, like not too soon after.
I would say fantasy score right now.
Okay.
I think my projection is gonna get well over 50.
I'm probably gonna go. I'm with you. I'm probably gonna go heavy on this fantasy, and then I do want some exposure with some cards on the assists, just in case, with turnovers or something happens with fantasy score.
Yeah. Elsewise, nothing crazy. Jackson Hayes at 22 fantasy points. He had 3 last night. Jaren Jackson sucks on defense. No. Herbert Jones 24 fantasy points. Yesterday, he they just moved everyone up 90 feet essentially. McCollum, I guess that's it for now. But yes, I completely agree. I think these McCollum lines are not going to get lower between now and lock. So if you guys do have some leans, maybe get some 2-pick powers just out there floating now and go from there, right? Prize Picks are always listening. They really are, man. Shout out to Prize Picks. I think Brett is their odds maker. 69 likes. Let's go. Yeah. What up, Lorenza? Doing all right. There's better upset. All right, let's move on to the next game. Nuggets at the Sacramento Kings. Project 35 for the Denver Nuggets. Monte Morris, Will Barton, Aaron Gordon, Jeff Green, and Nikola Jokic. Up against De'Aaron Fox, Justin Holiday, Harrison Barnes, Trey Lyles, Damian Jones, 239.5 total, 6-point spread in favor of the Denver Nuggets. Will Barton, probably the most notable Q tag here. And then we got Sabonis listed as out with suspension. I guess it's going to be in Fortnite. We have this term called we're unconned when we're dropping, right? It means uncontested. It's like I guess it means he's going to be uncontesting this suspension. And I guess when it comes to referees, you just take it. So we get an opportunity of a huge usage boost for De'Aaron Fox without Sabonis. And it's just a 6-point spread, and it feels like it should be more without Sabonis because this Kings team is so bad that you take out arguably their best player, definitely a top 2 player, but probably their best player, and they only get worse. Denver Nuggets, like I said, Will Barton questionable. He missed that last game. He is listed as questionable with a left ankle sprain. He was questionable coming in, and despite the injury being classified as mild, Barton's 4-game week is now a 3-game week. Austin Rivers and Bones Highland would benefit if he's out again. So keep an eye on Will Barton. If he can't go, I do like the per-minute production increase for Monte Morris. A little bit sneaky, but he's priced appropriately. And then Nikola Jokic, he might literally have 100 fantasy points tonight, considering how bad the Kings are on defense. With the Kings being without Sabonis, there's a couple of outs in terms of that front court rotation, but there is no Rashawn Holmes in addition to no Sabonis. So those are the 2 main guys. So Damian Jones looks like the guy that's going to get the bulk of the front court minutes, maybe Chimezie Metu. Looking at this depth chart for Sacramento. Let's see. Alex Len, I guess, could get some minutes. And maybe even Trey Lyles could stretch out to the 5 and maybe get some Metu at the 4.
Yeah.
So a couple of scenarios there.
They got Trey Lyles at 19 fantasy points.
Like, we really don't know what's, you know what I mean? We really don't know what is real, but I guess we can try and piece it together. So
You think that's too risky? I mean, you haven't projected for 29.
20. Oh, you talking about fantasy points? I thought you meant real points.
No, fantasy.
Yeah.
They have at 19.
I mean, 24 or 29. Yeah, and the minutes could be pretty deep here. Let me pull up Sacramento's last couple of outings. They pulled up Jalen Green and KPJ props as well. Kevin Porter Jr. props are all right. That's good. Good to know. Let me know if any Lakers props get dropped too, chat. So that's good. We're starting to get some stuff posted. Dude, this is why it's so hard. Like, there's so many PrizePicks channels blowing up right now, and I want to get in on it, and I want to post videos in the morning, but there's never anything up there, and I don't want to force picks and give you guys less than great quality. So we're looking at minute rotations. So front court guys, Damian Jones, 18 minutes last game. Just really, and Trey Lyles. So, they're going to be pretty undersized. I would guess Alex Len might get involved here, and he might even draw a surprise start, but maybe Damian Jones is the better guess. On-off court tool, let's try and put together some numbers here for the Kings. Somebody threw a potential Jokic rest scenario at me earlier. It might have been you. I don't remember.
No, don't put that on me.
I just so I read it somewhere like, oh, it was like NBA schedule. Shoot, there was a comment in there. NBA schedule. Hey Gun, it's no Woods. What up, Rick King? It's no Woods. You mean for like Christian Wood of the Rockets? Is he officially rolled out? Rocco out, Millsap, Anthony Simons. I don't know. So tomorrow Denver is one of the 2 games on the slate, and being that tonight's a back-to-back and tomorrow's a TV game, and the Sacramento Kings don't have Domantas Sabonis, you know where this is going.
Mm-hmm.
I could see the scenario. I don't because we were wrong yesterday.
I mean, I guess you got to take into account though. There's less than 20 games in the season left. We're getting close, and these guys, top tier guys, are fighting for MVP, right?
Yeah, but man, you need to be fighting for the playoffs after all that MVP stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just saying, if it turns into a boogie night back in Sacramento, there's a lot going the right way for this to be the right decision from a coaching staff standpoint, right? No Sabonis.
I totally agree.
Night 2 of a back to not it's a night 1 of a back to back. It would be the third game in 4 nights tomorrow. I'm just saying. The boogie night could be upon us. Anyway,
I would really like that, and if PrizePicks is watching, please put props up for him. 'Cause I wanted his props so bad when they played the Rockets, because Jokic sat that game, right? And I think Boogie started, and they never ended up posting any of his props, and he went off.
It's Dang Lazy Mofo in the Discord. All right. So if it doesn't happen, it's Dang Lazy Mofo's fault. It's out to him. No, he's out there in the Bay Area. I know he's in Cali. You're in the Bay Area, right? There's a couple of you guys. You, Jack,
Lazy is too.
I know. I feel like he's out there. I don't know if he was on the Sacramento side or ECW. We got a lot of Cali cats, man. It's gonna suck when you guys get that earthquake next week.
And then we just detach from America.
Yep. Anyway, all right. So I'm trying to piece together the Kings here, right? It's fun to fantasy book what would happen if they decided not to get with Jokic tonight. But let's put Fox on the court, Sabonis off, and let's just I guess we'll move this to mid-February, so I don't even have to worry about Tyrese Halliburton. What we might expect his uses to be. So what I would say his 27.8. Why was I expecting like 40% and then 35% assist rate? Fox should score points tonight, right? Like, are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean,
real points might be the
Nuggets. Yeah, they just bleed points to point guards. But one thing I was looking to his assist rate. I mean, it's a small sample size since the Sabonis and Justin Holiday joined, but he has a 44% assist rate when Sabonis is off the court. What do you think? Are you thinking points or assists?
I mean, the thing with assists, you just mentioned Luka, right?
I know.
It's like, I guess he does. These feel like a little bit more solid scorers: Trey Lyles, Damian Jones, Harrison Barnes to an extent. So yeah, I think I feel a little bit better with the scoring prowess. Maybe we just throw a blanket over it with fantasy. I got him 48 fantasy points. They've got him for 42. So I'm getting a 6-point difference. Maybe 37.5 PRA is also close enough to take. The assist line is really low. I'll give you that.
For a 40% plus, assist rate. And then what are we gonna do with Barnes and Lyles?
Unfortunately, I'm gonna play them. Barnes now might have, an opportunity to compensate for some stats that Sabonis leaves out there, and there might even be some lineups where Barnes has to stretch out to the 4. So I'll get to some exposure to him on the DFS side. I probably would never want to tempt fate and get some individual prop action on him in a parlay setting. But for DFS, I get exposure to that. Would really like definitive news on who is starting. I think it stands to reason that Trey Lyles, Damian Jones are probably the more likely guys, but Alex Len does exist, and then we've seen them stretch out Chimezie Metu, quite a bit. And even Mo Harkless could start at the 4. So there's a couple scenarios Lou has in his back pocket here.
So it's probably too risky. Like Lyles is probably too risky prop. Would you agree?
No, because I think he's been starting regardless, right?
So I mean, it's almost a 10-point. It's a 10-point differential from your projection on the fantasy points for him. And then it's about an 8-point fantasy point differential for Barnes. I think you have him projected for 38, and I have him at 30 right now.
Yeah. All right. I'll probably play these guys in DFS, but I don't know that I want to put them in parlay prop betting. You know.
What about first half? What about first? Like if let's say Jokic plays and Nuggets run him off the court, it's a blowout. I mean, could we get on these first half Barnes fantasy or Fox fantasy?
Yes. Yeah, I think so. So I mean, this off the court stuff, man. Like the spread wasn't that deep for. I'll double check, make sure I didn't get like the numbers from before Sabonis was officially out, but I'm pretty sure I had that in consideration. Let's go pull up that game. It's just a 6-point spread, man. That feels flimsy for Sacramento. Is easily the worst defense in the league. Denver Nuggets has the MVP. There's something fishy with this line to me.
Well, it opened at -3 for the Nuggets, and then it's at -6. So is that 3-point boost after the Sabonis news? I guess.
I guess.
But the total went up.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. The Kings defense is so bad, but the Nuggets
it's terrible.
Nuggets pace is in like I don't know. Something fishy. There's something fishy.
Well, speaking of the Nuggets, what about that? What are we gonna do with that side?
So as is right now, we take the conspiracy theory out of my head where I want to play DeMarcus Cousins. I play Jokic. Jokic is projected for I think the most fantasy points on the slate in my model. Like I said, he's right up there with he's right below Doncic and then LeBron. They're all in the mix, at least on PrizePicks scoring. Jokic is literally, less than a tenth of a point around Doncic. So the standard deviation, especially considering it's at the center position where you can just win the position, as is right now, Jokic playing has legitimately 80, 90 fantasy point potential. So I would be playing him. Do we have lines for the Nuggets?
Yeah, we do.
All right, so Jokic is at 58 fantasy points. I mean, I'd probably take the assists more than anything. 9.5. It feels like a triple-double spot. Should have stayed competitive. And, if this team's implied for 120-plus points, Jokic is probably going to have his hand in the cookie jar and everything, but especially assists. So it could just be one of those triple-doubles in the campaign to be the MVP. So I'd probably lean the assists, but there's really not like a line that I don't think is beatable. Assists is probably the lowest line if you're just looking for a little bit of comfort. But fantasy points is live too. But assists is probably the line for me. What are you thinking?
Probably fantasy because
fantasy. Yeah.
If he does triple dub, I just want to get all of it.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then the other thing I want to look up real quick since we're here, Denver side. I'm going to look at the official numbers on Monte Morris per minute without Will Barton, because for DFS, especially on like late slates, I think he's a fun click because it's the Sacramento Kings first of all. No one ever plays Monte Morris.
His point prop is way too low, 13.5.
All right, so let's do a couple splits here. First of all, we'll leave Jokic on the court. And then let's put Monte and Barton together. Monte and Barton. And basically, if they like fill the gap with like Austin Rivers, I'm not that worried about it.
Right.
So the split that I'm looking for now is Jokic, Monte Morris, Will Barton. Put them on the court together, and we want to focus on Monte Morris numbers. Monte Morris has a really low everything with 0.82 fantasy points per minute. And Will Barton, usage rate being closer to 20. So we take Will Barton off the court in that split, and this is all since January 1st. Do we get closer to 1 fantasy point per minute? And I do think being over 5K against the Kings, they did kind of compensate and adjust for what probably happens here. But Monte Morris goes over a fantasy point per minute in that split since January 1 with a 26% assist rate. And then the numbers on Jokic is just literally dumb. Like, literally dumb. Over 2 fantasy points per minute. And it's the king. You know what I mean? Like, this is crazy. So I guess what I'm saying is in tournaments, Monte Morris doesn't look like a crazy click if we get no Will Barton here, because the Kings are that bad, first and foremost. And then secondly, Monte Morris has been giving us a fantasy point per minute without Barton with Jokic. So I kind of like leaning towards Monte and some deep field stuff, All right, let's move on to the next game here. Portland Trail Blazers up against the Utah Jazz. Project 25 for the Blazers. It looks like it's going to be another Brandon Williams game. Dude, we've been on the air for like over 2 hours, and like some of these lineups and projections are so old now that it's just like, wow. We have Brandon Williams, CJ Ellaby, Josh Hart, Trenton Watford, Drew Eubanks up against Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Bojan Bogdanovic, Royce O'Neal, and Rudy Gobert. A 221.5 total. It was an 18-point spread when I started typing stuff into this spreadsheet. It's now up to 19.5 points. The Portland Trailblazers are not a basketball team. They're just not. This is ugly, and probably the worst place to play at is at Utah. Man, they are just at home. They've been really, really good. They have one of the highest net ratings in all of basketball. If we look at that team metrics chart in the RunDFS.com VIP spreadsheet, Utah has the second highest net rating in basketball. I wonder what it is at home. And then the worst net rating in basketball in the season is, has been the Houston Rockets, but the Portland Trailblazers are -6. And then, of course, without any real basketball players like that, it's nuts. This could be one of the more lopsided games on the season. I don't know if it'll quite get to that 50-point spread that we saw in that was it Thunder at Memphis or something like that. But this game is not projected to be very competitive, and not going to conspiracy theory rest on the Jazz side here. But this is a tough read.
They haven't been playing well though lately. They need to get their groove back.
Okay, yes, but this is not a this is a oh my god.
Oh no! I'm not saying this is gonna by any means be that close to be a competitive game. I'm just saying I think they use it as a practice and don't rest team when I think they want to get that momentum back because they're in a rough patch for sure.
So what do you? Is there anything here that you want to target? And is this one of those first half games? I would say Brandon Williams on FanDuel. He's min price after the other night. I had like 80% Brandon Williams in a spot where he was 30% owned by the field, and he was easily like the best value play on the slate. Things changed drastically considering the matchup here, but the minutes should be through the roof. I'm about to push through another projection. But did you have any leans on this game from a PrizePicks standpoint? I don't see myself opening up the doors to Jazz players a lot or at all on DFS. But I think begrudgingly I got to get to some of this Blazers minutes equal money, even if you're down 30 situation, especially at bare bones min on Brandon Williams on Portland. But anything standing out to you, and is this a first half target spot?
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense, right? I mean, with this new Blazers unit, centers have just been dominating. But Gobert, man, do we really want to risk it at 19 fantasy points in the first half for him? I mean, you're really hoping for multiple stocks there, blocks or steals. So, and just in 2 quarters.
Really big show. Well, I did push through a new projection here.
Okay.
There you. Oh wait. Oh, you're back. Oh, you were literally just frozen for like 5 seconds. So.
So you didn't catch anything I said?
Not a thing.
Oh, I was saying it's too risky in my opinion.
To get to Jazz, even in first
half. I mean, it's just Gobert. It's a great spot for him, but you're really depending on blocks and steals early on in the game, and just that first half. It's at 19 fantasy points, but you have him at 47 total, right? So
yeah, I just pushed through a sweep and moves Brandon Williams minutes to 36. Dumb projection. Min price. So I think Brandon Williams against with the process says 3,500 is just too cheap for Brandon Williams. With the potential minutes coming his way. So I'll be there on that, but I think that's going to be the bulk of my interest in this game. Trendon Watford has been kind of trendy. Drew Eubanks can in game play in traffic. You know what I mean? He got me the other night. But it's just this is a tough read here, and I think for DFS I'm going to be away from the Jazz, and I don't really have a strong lean on getting to their first half numbers on PrizePicks myself. Let's get caught up on chat here. Didn't hear about an earthquake next week. Yeah, Manzo, it's coming, bro. Speaking of Manzo, I keep looking at my phone, man. I'm trying to get this MLB lockout ended, man. It's been
Today's the day, right? It's gonna be the day.
It feels. I mean, that was the vibe this morning. Did you know that Portland at Utah is the ESPN game tonight?
No, they didn't flex it.
No.
No way.
This abomination on a 12-game slate gets the TV rights. Jesus H. Mary.
Wait, so there's two
ESPN
games?
There's two ESPN games.
No, I meant like there's two 10:30 Eastern games.
There's 3 10 p.m. games. It's Portland at Utah, Denver at Sacramento, Washington at LA. I mean, all those games kind of suck, but at least like maybe the Clippers and Wizards are.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it is. Oh my gosh.
Narrative.
I mean, what are they gonna flex it to the Nuggets and Kings?
I mean, if Jokic was playing, but Jokic has TV tomorrow. What a disaster, man! Like, holy cow.
Yeah, these late games lately have just not been the games that we wanted, right? I mean,
yeah, West Coast has been different. Remember years back, the late night hammer, you had to have.
Yeah,
it. But so far, not quite. Anyway, we got one game. We're almost there. Only one game left on the docket. Take a pause for the college chat. Right after this stream, I'll be in the RunDFS.com NBA VIP spreads, VIP Discord. If you guys are looking to keep the conversation going, jump into the RunDFS.com VIP Discord. We'll be in this voice chat, chopping it up, creating our player pools for DFS. Josh is tidying up and tightening up the prop detector tab. So if you guys are looking to tail some props for PrizePicks, we do have the PrizePicks tab as well. These cats have been around the clock. I literally, like, in the middle of the night, I'm looking over and you guys are chopping up esports.
Oh, yeah.
And
It doesn't stop.
It never stops. So if you guys want to join a group of like-minded grinders, certainly go to RunDFS.com and jump in there. And then if you don't want to get behind the paid one, we did launch a free Discord. Link to that's in the description below. We'll welcome you guys to jump in that. And you guys that are making it active and sharing your screenshots every night and talking some stuff, man. As that grows, it will certainly not go unnoticed, and we'll do more stuff like giveaways and stuff like that in the coming weeks and stuff. So VIP memberships at RunDFS.com. Find one that's right for you. Every single one of them comes with a voucher towards Fantasy Cruncher. And then tomorrow, just a 2-game slate. It's kind of a day off. I don't think we'll do a stream tomorrow, right? It's just a 2-game slate. There's no reason to do a stream. Recharge from
really?
today.
Not even just a short one?
I mean, do you absolutely want? If you want to, sure. I'm game if you are. I just assume just 2-game slate. What's the point? But if you want to, Josh.
I mean, just props, right? I mean, just a quick prop run through it like the normal time, the 2 p.m. Eastern, right?
I mean, we'd probably do it later because we wouldn't need. So 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern would probably be the better slot. Heck, even 4 p.m. Eastern would probably be a good slot.
Okay.
At that point,
that might actually could be better.
All right. And then Friday, busy day. Check this out on Friday. So Friday night, I'm going to be looking at the Thursday night, I'm going to be looking at the slate with Coach, and you'll see that podcast hopefully ready for you guys when you're up Friday morning. I'll be there. Then we'll have the 3 hours of streams on this channel. Then I'll have an hour of Discord, and it looks like we'll be on the Osmo show the hour before lock, myself and Eric. So there's gonna be a lot of Gundacker on YouTube on
So
Friday.
what's the plan for Friday for the streams then?
So it's gonna be normal stream times.
But isn't it how many games is it? 10 or 12?
It's a big it's a big one. NBA schedule. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8. It's 10 games. I mean, we could do it. We could do it like we did this show if you wanted to.
Yeah, I'm
If
down.
if Raj is out, then yeah, we could just run back this format, and then I'm sure that would
or
take us to an hour.
even if Raj does it, we could just do a 3-man, and
Yeah.
that way you just reduce the amount of streams that you have to do since you're doing so many that Friday.
Yeah. All right. So we'll be everywhere on Friday. Everywhere. All right. All right. Anyway, one game left on the docket tonight. By the way, if you're on Twitter, twitter.com/Gundacker, and if you are not subscribed to the channel, we cannot get off of this 666, bro. Literally, still, this has been a day. This is like the lowest. Like, I lost 2 subs. We gained those 2 back. I don't know what that's about. Maybe dead YouTube channel featuring Gundacker. Anyway, if you're out there, you haven't subbed, hit that sub button. We got the Wizards. We got the Los Angeles Clippers. We got a 217 total. Project starting 5 for the Wizards. Yes. Raul Neto, KCP, Corey Kispert, Kyle Kuzma, Kristaps Porzingis taking on Reggie Jackson, Terrence Mann, Marcus Morris, Nick Batum, Ivica Zubac. 217 total, 4-point spread in favor of the home team, LA Clippers. Porzingis looks like they said he was going to play today and rest tomorrow. I believe is what we read. Or, rest Saturday. So we get we get somewhat of a usage tick away from Kyle Kuzma. And then we really don't quite know what to expect. Reggie Jackson on the other side is usually the only guy from the Clippers I've been gravitating towards. So I really feel like this could ultimately be a game I get no exposure to and just kind of throw my hands up in the air. Maybe 6K Kristaps Porzingis is enough to chip and share that price point to I get to a dab or so. But if I didn't, I probably don't lose sleep. 21 minutes in his debut with the Wizards on the 6th, 36 fantasy points. So he does have the potential to pay off a 6K price point. Don't see a need for him at 7,600. But I feel like either way, I'm getting a glass ceiling. This game could be a full fade for me for DFS. Is there anything for prize picks that you're getting behind?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, right? The Clippers have just been muddying games up and making them not fun, right, for DFS. Prime example was last night. So I get it. I'm with you. Like, it's probably not the most ideal environment for betting, but maybe there's some targets we can get out of it. So Kuzma, in that game with Porzingis, you know, he was getting some assists off from. I know I'm a assist guy when it comes to props, but 4.5 just seems really low for him, especially as Porzingis starts to play more minutes and gel with the team. Because Kuzma is looking to distribute lately. I think he's what is he? Yeah, last 3 games he's really been passing a lot. So yeah, more shooters in the mix with Porzingis, who shoots from 3 too. So 4.5, I could probably get on that. And KCP has been having a high usage and been scoring at a high rate, taking a lot of threes. He's still at 12.5 points. He's been pretty much stuck there at 13.5. So that's a good correlation play with Kuzma as well. He's I mean, KCP's cleared the last 5 games easily. So, what do you think about those? Or if there's any other on the Wizards side?
No, I think all those make sense here. The KCP real points doesn't feel great, right? But it
doesn't feel great.
It has. He's been doing it. And that's
with this unit, he's been chucking it. I mean, he's been given the opportunity to score. So,
yeah, no, I agree with those. But I do think generally from a DFS approach, I don't get to a ton of this game. Just medium total, medium pace prices for like Kuzma's over 9K here. I just don't think I get to a lot of exposure here. Yeah, all right. Hey, that is the 12 games. Sounds like by popular demand, people want a couple of our favorite prize picks lines. Well, I feel like I'm gonna hold them hostage, man. 93 likes, that's really close to 100. There's got to be 7 people out there that would like some prize picks plays in exchange for a thumbs up. But if you guys can get to 100 real quick, we can do that. Just make sure you're liking the stream, and when you're not subscribed, get us the freak away from this all sixes. I know there's another Yellowstone spinoff. Apparently it's going to be called the 4 Sixes. So right now I got the 4 Sixes in terms of a sub count, and I've had that for a day now. So if you haven't subscribed, hit that sub button. Get us where we need to go. Jason says New Orleans props are up. Yeah, we got that a little while back, and then we thought that the McCollum props were cranked up a little slow here. So yeah, let's do that. It looks like we are gonna hit to that 100 like goal. 90 on there you go, Chad. Look at him.
Nice.
I knew they could do it.
Nice job.
I knew it. I had a lot of faith. I had all the faith, really. All right, Josh. So I guess let's go over, I don't know, 4 or 5 favorite props here. I think I'll do the easy work here. I think CJ McCollum fantasy points 46. I'll take that over.
Sure. And then you could put a slash next to that, slash 7.5 assists, because it's still sitting at that, but all the sports book have him at 8.5.
Okay. So all right, I'll do that. Where do we go from there?
All right. I think probably Trae Young 9.5 assists.
Okay. Trae Young.
Just with that pace game and that high total, and the funnel defense we liked.
I like it.
And then Robert Williams, were you game with that?
So what are we liking on him like specifically?
First half fantasy points or whole fantasy point?
36. Yeah, against Charlotte. Man, that is saw what Drummond did in 20 minutes last night.
Yeah, it could be a 50 bomb form, right? 50 bars easy, I feel like.
All right, we'll do that. We'll throw.
We just gotta hope the game stays close and he gets it done early. I mean, maybe the first half is the way to go.
All right, 1 second. Let's go look at a couple of these first half rotations.
Yeah.
All right, so against Boston a little bit smaller, like Charlotte. Robert Williams played all of the first quarter, half of the second quarter. Williams plays a lot. Jesus. All of the first quarter, back into the second quarter in the Memphis game, Atlanta game. Robert Williams, all of the first quarter, half of the second quarter. I'm liking this. Pacers game, we get most of the first quarter. I don't know what this little burp was about. Yeah, Williams is getting a lot of minutes, especially in the first quarter. So I'm with you on over fantasy points. I'm okay with the full game, but I understand being trepidatious. Their defense has been so elite that, and you saw last night, the Nets just couldn't. So, what was this first half fantasy point line?
18. He's cleared that the last 5.
All right, Robert Williams first half fantasy. Let's do that.
I like it.
All right,
I like it. And then speaking of first half, we can get on SGA again if you want.
SGA first half.
It's a toss up between his points and fantasy because he's getting a lot of assists, and I don't know. I mean, he's a scorer, so I feel comfortable with his points probably.
Okay. Keith said SGA first half. Yeah, I don't mind that. So let me double check the first half line on SGA.
I think it was like 14.5 points, right?
I'm looking at 14.5 points, 24.5 fantasy points. And yeah, he's smoked that in 4 straight. And it is Minnesota. And Minnesota certainly fast-paced porous defense.
Yep.
14.5 real points versus 24. He's man, it feels like the real points is the way to go.
Yeah, I mean,
right? Because
he's gonna chuck it.
Yeah. I'm gonna lean real points, but I guess they're both viable.
Yeah.
All right. So that leaves us McCollum fantasy points, Trae Young, 9.5 assists. So Where else I was thinking Fox or Jokic. Jokic
Yeah,
assists or
yeah.
Fox points.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go with there? Fox.
I mean, we could do both. I mean, it makes sense if you're gonna play Jokic, then you're hoping that Fox is the reason why the Kings are keeping it somewhat close. So, probably what, Fox points or assists, or do you want to go with fantasy? He's not really. I don't know.
I'm thinking
Stock
I'm thinking real points.
Okay.
But I'm also I don't know. What does the fox say? All right, that I don't know. We might have to meditate on that. A light of incense. I think Jokic's assist is a little low. And then we didn't get any Lakers lines, right? Nothing yet on the Lakers.
Yeah.
Oh, we do. Oh no, we don't have LeBron, right? Okay.
Right. Yeah. So we could put asterisks like LeBron. Wait, fantasy point. Wait and see.
Yeah. So like, let's say they had LeBron rebounds at like 8.5. Would you like that if he starts center?
Yeah.
And
For sure. And then if fantasy is like what, less than, what would you say, 50? What do you have projected
If it's
for?
less than 50, I'm in it. I am for 63, I think.
Yeah. So anything less than 55 probably.
Let's go. By the way, chat, we have this player props tab in the spreadsheet. If you're just here for props and stuff, it is coded to really be a companion piece to the PrizePicks thing. And yes, I have LeBron James essentially tied for first place, 63. So if we got a number that was close to 50, I'd probably like the over on LeBron. So yeah, I'm waiting for that. And that's it for now. We got a couple hours left between now and lock, so we'll spend a lot of that in the voice chat, right? Chat, anything else that you guys got? I appreciate you guys getting us to over 100 likes. Appreciate you guys maybe stomaching some of the first 30 minutes of stuff. It sounds like we'll do something tomorrow. If we do it, it'll be like an hour. It'll be like 4 p.m. Eastern. It'll be like a 2-game.
What time is the Slate start?
Tomorrow Slate starts at 6:30, so it's even a late lock. So we could probably queue up just like a 20-30 minute
year.
You know what I mean? And then go from there. And then the later we wait, the more PrizePicks stuff that will be on the board. Nets at Sixers. Don't think you're seeing Ben Simmons. And then Warriors at the Nuggets, and then we'll see what that entails. And then Friday is another big slate, right? Damien says, what value plays are you liking today? I think McCollum is a great value. I think Brandon Williams on Fanduel is going to be really, really solid. I think Marvin Bagley stands out. If we go to player projections for DK, I'll read off the top projected value as we tighten the screws on this one. Man, I thought about playing lo-fi stuff today too. Good thing I didn't if we were having mic issues. I'm not playing Wiggins. Şengün, if Christian Wood is out on both sides, will look good, especially on FanDuel. Brandon Williams on FanDuel, min price is broken. Damian Jones with Sabonis out. Seems like the next man up. Trey Lyles. I'm fine with all those names there. What's your best advice for winning with a small PEP? Gas station pills. That's how you do it. Shatter. Yeah.
Real quick. We didn't talk about the Rockets since they posted their props. If you had a lean and you had to pick one, KPJ or Jalen Green for points, because they're both at 15.5 points.
Probably KPJ.
Okay.
But it's not a snap call because Gordon and Garrison Matthews and all those cats. Anyway, chat, that's going to do it for us, man. I appreciate you guys making part of my day, be part of your day. Tell somebody you love them. I love you. As always, good luck. God bless. Go win some money.